was just looking into his eyes and then his smile and then everything melting. He is the reason why I got into Star Wars. When you think of Star Wars, you think of him. How I'll do you one better. How about you join me at the premiere? Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were sitting 2 or 3 rows in front of me.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sith Talk. Today we have back on the show Marley from Bounty Saber. How you doing, Marley?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm recovering from being sick, but other than that, life's pretty good. Just finished up college, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
I'm very proud of myself. So, yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Congrats on finishing college. That must be like such a weight lifted off your shoulder now that it's like
Yeah.
done in the rear view,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, it's honestly crazy like how much stress was just gone.
Yeah.
That's like I still have a little bit of stress, cuz my professors still have until like the end of the year of this year to turn in grades, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But you
Nice.
know what? I've got a lot of interesting things that have happened recently that I'm sure we'll talk about. So, that's I can't stop thinking about those. So, yeah.
Yes. So why don't we start off by you telling us a little bit about your channel and where we can find you at?
All right. Well, my usernames for like literally all social medias is Bounty Saber. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I started using Twitter a little bit more. I have YouTube as well that I have a rocky relationship with, to say the least. I'm not very consistent, as Tony knows here. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, like I used to do. Right now, I'm kind of on a cool down because of school. I used to do a lot of like Star Wars content, lightsaber content. Right now, I'm kind of in an era where I want to switch it up a little bit, maybe make it more yapping wise and more just show my day, my personality, or whatever, instead of just Star Wars, because I have a lot more interest. One of the biggest interests that I've had recently is right here. I don't know if you know which show this is. Do you?
Is that I don't know. It's something I probably haven't seen. What is
Arcane.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard Arcane is great, but I
Oh, it's
haven't
awesome.
seen it at all.
Oh, have tissues ready. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm forcing my dad to watch it with me, so it's gonna be quite a time. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I have so many other interests, and a part of me, like I've always wanted to make other kinds of content other than just Star Wars. I dip into DC and Marvel and Disney every now and then, but
Yeah.
I never fully like stick with it because I built this whole persona around Bounty Saber, and those two words are kind of Star Wars related. So
Yeah.
but I'll try different things, and I'm hoping in the new year, once things kind of cool down, I can talk about all those interests, because like the number one thing on my mind for the last month has been meeting Hayden Christensen, but also Arcane. So like there's a lot of things going on in my mind that I'm quite excited to talk about.
Awesome. So that literally is the first thing we're gonna kick it off with. So
All right.
about a month ago, you went to San Fran Fan Expo. Was that your first time going to that convention?
It was, yeah, and it's it's kind of surprising because I'm from the Bay Area.
Uh-huh.
But, I didn't even know it existed until last year, but I didn't have the chance to go because it's during Thanksgiving
Mm,
weekend, which is such a
yeah.
weird time to do a con. I don't know. I was expecting something kinda small. It was bigger than I expected. You're taller than I expected, but yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it was my first time going, and it was a lot of fun. I got to go with one of my friends that um I haven't seen in a hot minute.
Mhm.
I started off making Star Wars content, and he taught me how to saber spin. So it was like it just felt kind of
Oh,
nice that like it all looped back around, Like I
yeah.
went with the friend that helped me start off making content. And I go to the city where I started off making a lot of content as well. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. It was a small con, I will say. But the last con that I went to was LA Comic Con, and I am very glad I went to Fan Expo stuff because it's smaller. LA Comic Con.
It was
I don't know if
crazy.
it was just this year, but I was extremely overstimulated. It was terrible.
Mm,
They have 2 halls.
yeah.
So you're walking in between. You're spending more time walking and trying to find your friends than you and like where your photo ops or your signings are at. So it's just, you know. And
Yeah.
this year with Fan Expo SF, Hayden was the big name, right?
Yes.
And Hayden had his own section for everything. Was it organized? No. It was
Oh.
terrible. It was so bad. It was so I could say so many things about the organization, but it was a lot of fun. And the experience itself, Tony, the
Yeah.
experience.
So before we get into that, how you went to Fan Expo 1 day, 2 days, or like what days did you go?
Only Saturday. I just went for
Oh,
Hayden.
just Sat just okay, so you just went
Yeah.
Saturday. All right, so the Hayden experience, before we get to you doing you just did the photo op, right? No autograph?
No, I did both.
Oh, you did oh,
Mhm.
okay. Which one was
Mhm.
first?
I did the photo op first, and I did
Okay.
the signing later. The signing was not really expected, which I'll go into a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
But I will say I'm glad with what I had decided with at the end. I was struggling on what I would decide, like what I would get signed.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, no amount of money, whether I lost it or not or whatever, will ever pay back the experience that I had with Hayden, because this experience with Hayden was miles better than LA Comic Con. I met him at LA Comic Con,
Oh, you did?
but I did. I got a lightsaber signed by a company. Actually, this right here, Shadowfoil Props.
Uh-huh.
Literally like the best Anakin saber. No plug intended, but
Yeah.
it's awesome. Um, they sent me a lightsaber for myself so I can get signed. And
Uh-huh.
they sent me a lightsaber for them so that I could get it signed for them. So I got to
Yeah.
meet Hayden for free in LA Comic Con,
Uh-huh.
which to me I was like, okay, I'll take it. Sure.
Yeah.
The problem is, and this is nothing against Hayden or anything. It's just the con lasted well, at least the line and the signings lasted so long that the con already had ended, but people were still in line.
Oh,
So
that's
they were rushing people out. And it was
yeah.
like you had maybe 10 seconds. And I have it like I thought I had it like at least voice recorded somehow. But you have literally 10 seconds with him and that's it. And he tried his best with everything.
Yeah.
But when you compare my experience in Fan Expo SF to LA Comic Con, oh my god, I'm so happy I did Fan Expo SF. Like my
Yeah.
experience meeting Hayden it was awesome. I love it. I'm
So,
still in love.
so when you got there for the photo op, how bad was like the line waiting to get to Hayden for the photo op since you did that first?
It was terrible. And I found out through other people who have previously been to Fan Expo SF because Fan Expo SF has had pretty big names before. They had Ewan McGregor and Mark Hamill last year,
Yeah.
which is huge. It's big. But apparently this year they were extremely disorganized. They had time slots for you to go in, but then they just ended up having everyone with a time slot shoved into a room and then everyone got in line. So your time slot didn't matter. I ended up waiting like an hour and a half to 2 hours after my time slot to even be into the line. They put me in the room for that long. And the whole time I was like, I'm hungry, I'm tired. And my friend's like, you're meeting Hayden. I was like, you're so right. You are so
Yeah.
right. But yeah, it was extremely disorganized. Everything that anyone has ever told me about in the line, because I have a lot of conversations, you'll hear people complaining left and right. Oh,
Yeah.
why is this taking forever? Blah, 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 blah. And I was running on the adrenaline of I meet Hayden in I don't know when, but by the end of the day, it's gonna happen. So it was really disorganized. It was crazy. It was quite a time, like, you know, how you go like basically back to back with each person, right? When you're doing the
Yeah.
signings, right? So I'll go into the signing thing a little bit later, but for the photo op, it was the same issue. Just there's no organization whatsoever. It was crazy. And I talked to some of the workers there, and they said it's like, yeah, we didn't get Hayden's schedule until like, you know, a few hours ago, and it seemed like a lot of people who were working were not at all informed on everything. So it just kind of sucked, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's how Hayden's Line. I've learned that from meeting him a few times now that no matter what con or show it is, his line is always crazy. Every now and then, sometimes you get lucky. Like at Tampa Bay Comic Con, I got lucky and the autograph was quick, and at
Mhm.
GalaxyCon, I got lucky. but every other time it's minimum 2 to 3 hours in line, sometimes 4 to 5. And like the waiting in line sucks, but once you get that experience, all's forgiven. It's like out the
Oh yeah.
window. Oh, it's great. So after they scanned your QR code and like you're peeking behind the curtain, what was it like when you saw him there before you walked up?
Oh my goodness. Well, here's the thing. A part of me kind of regrets that I didn't hug him, but I'll go into that. You
Oh,
walk in, right? And the first thing you see is some dude right in the corner giving you like harsh looks that's like, "All right, guys, just remember, no touching, no high fives, no handshakes, no hugs or anything like that." And I'm like, "Bullshit." There's
yeah,
so many people who are getting that. But anyways, I have that anxiety in my blood running right before you go into the corner, and then Hayden's room is like right there.
yeah,
And I'm like shaking. Everyone's looking at each other and freaking out. The people behind me were freaking out. Everyone's like, whatever we just went through, the trauma we just went through in line does not matter right now. Everyone's reactions were awesome. Me personally seeing Hayden as I'm putting my bag down onto the little table because they don't let you take anything inside. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my goodness, he looks so beautiful. Like, oh wow. I was like, he looks so handsome with his little cardigan and everything. And it was so awesome. Like I couldn't believe it was real. And then it was like one person in front of me. So you're inside the booth. The line goes in the booth.
yeah.
And like the people in front of me, they were having like a good time. And there was like a mirror to my left, and there was like a woman there, and I was like, "Do I look okay? Do I look good?" And everything. My face was turning red. Ah, oh my goodness, I was so red in my photo, but I don't care. The experience, finally it was my turn, I went in, and I went in like straight for a handshake. I just completely forgot that I wasn't allowed to touch him, but
Yeah,
later on I was like, I wish I would have hugged him because so many people
yeah.
got hugs. But it was just so awesome the entire time. And I've heard this for so many people. Every single person that I know that has met Hayden, he has a really good way of showing he's interested in you,
Mhm.
even if it's for like 10 seconds, because he keeps eye contact, because
Yes.
he's engaged. That's something so extremely important with any time that you're like meeting someone new, or especially these people, they spend hundreds of dollars to try to like meet you. The least you could really do is like
Yeah.
try to be a little bit engaged. He goes above and beyond. His eyes, like just looking straight into his eyes, like a void, and like my heart
Yes.
melted. I felt like, I understand, Padme. I get it. I get it. I understand. I won't judge you. Like I was just in that moment, and the entire time he was smiling, and it looked so genuine. And like so many people can say that, of course, but to me it felt genuine, and that's what I really cared about. You know, I cared about that I had maybe 5-10 seconds, hanging out with him there. We kind of just talked a little bit. I had my lightsaber with me. I asked him, "Can you hold this in the photo?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, of course." And uh it was just it was such a great experience. But the number one thing I will always remember from the signing and from the photo op was just looking into his eyes, and then his smile, and then everything melting, everything. It felt so genuine, and it felt so like memorable. And this is, of course, I had the similar experience at LA Comic Con, but this time it was like it wasn't rushed. He didn't have
Yeah.
someone on his like above his shoulder tapping at him to hurry up. It was nice. Um and even as I was in line meeting, like to meet him, I saw every interaction he had with other people. And I
Yeah.
realized like this isn't just someone who's doing this for the con money. This isn't just someone who's just, because their manager tells them to do this. It's because, finally our generation, who was very quiet, who was like the very quiet minority back then, who wasn't able to speak about how much we loved his performance as Anakin. We're older now. We have a voice. The internet helped us with this. And that's why he's back at cons. And that's why like all of us get to experience these awesome times, right?
Yeah.
And to me, like, uh, it was just awesome. My photo, actually. Let me grab my photo.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait
grab it,
a
grab it.
second.
Yes.
Ah. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so I got a photo with him. Remember how I told you I got a signing?
Yeah.
I got it signed as well. That wasn't
Oh.
planned, at all. But
Yeah.
anyways, in my photo, it's kind of I look really red. Really
Yeah.
red. Can
Yeah.
you I'm so red, I'm a tomato. All my friends were telling me, "Marley, you're so red." And I was like,
Yeah.
maybe the average person would be kind of mad because they're like, "Oh, I don't like the photo." I'm like, "No, you get to see how much I was fangirling. You can see how much this meant to me. My body melted. I turned red. That moment was awesome. Like, I walked out of that booth and I was like, I didn't care how I looked or anything like that. I just kind of asked the people who were printing out the photo. I was like, please tell me I don't look bad. And they're like, no,
Yeah.
no, you look great. I walked out, went to my friend, and I was like, I was freaking out. I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Those, who knows how long I was waiting in line for? It did not matter. All that mattered is I had this photo. I was so scared of ruining it. It's like my most prized possession. Like, it used to be the Bad Batch poster, which I still love you, by the way. But this is, oh my goodness. Just meeting him, like I said, I've said it a million times. It was so wholesome. It was so genuine. Um I was freaking out. I couldn't believe that, like, finally after so many years I got to meet him.
Yeah.
Like, the he is the reason why I got into Star Wars. Like, or why I continued into Star Wars. His beauty is, of course, you hear this from so many girls, but his beauty is what, like, kept me intrigued.
Mhm.
And then it's like Star Wars brought me so many things. Like, Star Wars brought me so much happiness and so many opportunities. And I finally get to meet the person that made me feel the way I do about Star Wars. And I was just like, this is awesome. I loved it so much. Ah, it was amazing, Tony. Can you tell
Oh,
I'm still in love? Can
so
you
I
can you
was
tell?
so happy when I saw you post that on your story right after you did it. I was like, "Oh my god, she looks so happy." He's holding her saber. She's gonna like cherish that saber for the rest of her life. It looks so freaking good. That's
I
why I was
didn't
like,
want to wipe the fingerprints, dude.
"Yeah." I think I hit you up like that same day or next day. I'm like, yo, whenever you're free, you need to come
Yeah.
back on because we need to talk about this because this looked like a special time. And like
Oh yeah.
you nailed it right on the head. Like back in the day, we loved him so much, but we couldn't say nothing. Now with the internet, he realizes how much he means to all of us. And like I've met him now 8 times, which is nuts.
What's it
And
like living my dream? Can I just ask you that?
Marley, let me tell you, it feels like the first time every time. How you felt, it feels like that it blows my mind, especially at GalaxyCon, like just like how you're nervous in line waiting, both times it was the same. Like that feeling
Mhm.
doesn't change. It's so crazy and every time it's so surreal, but I don't know if you've heard my stories yet with him, my past few experiences, but like they've gotten crazier and crazier and crazier. And it started in Chicago. So I'll run through the other two real quick. Then I'm going to talk about GalaxyCon, and then we'll get into your autograph experience. But at Chicago, I did the dual photo with Hayden and Mark,
Yup.
and
I remember.
when I walked up and said what up to Hayden, he gave me a look like he recognized me, like I was one of his boys. It felt genuine. And I was like, did he recognize me? I'm like, no, there's no way. So later that day, my boy had an extra autograph for Hayden that he bought by accident. So he sold it to me for cheap. So I went and I got an auto. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Well, maybe I'll get to talk to him and see if he, just to see if he remembers me. So I go back for the auto in Chicago that night, a few hours later, and I walk up to him for the autograph. And the first thing he says to me is what was, we've met a few times before, right? And I froze. I was like, yeah, Orlando, MegaCon, London, like
You're
a
like,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah. It was crazy. So like he did remember me, which was nuts. So then I said to him, all right, man, I'll see you next week. Cause the next week he was at Tampa Bay Comic Con. And I was thinking about going, but then after saying that to Hayden, I had to go. I'm like, all right, I have to go now. Plus,
like
like,
he's relying on you now, man.
yeah,
Like he's expecting you to be there. You have to show up. Like
yeah. So the next week, literally not even 7 days later, 6 days later, I bring my Vader helmet to the con to get signed. And when I walk up to him, he lights up again because he recognized me because we just saw each other. and like it was crazy because he was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" Then he just starts having a full convo with me like I'm his friend. He's like, "So where you from? Where do you call home?" Like we're going back and forth, and I'm like, "Bro, Anakin knows where I live, like how I'm
Hide
doing,
your kids,
this
hide
and
your
that."
wife, like
Yeah. So, after he signs my helmet, he also gave me the quote and wrote Darth Vader on there for free, which that's extra.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I try to be slick and pull a Ricky, like my boy Ricky, he got a free quote in Chicago because he just asked him, and Hayden was like, "Sure." So he signed my helmet, and I said, "Hey, can you write Anakin is gone on there?" And he was like, "Sure. Do you want the whole quote?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So he did the whole quote, "Anakin is gone. I am what remains, Darth Vader," on there.
Oh,
And after he did that, I gave him my Japan celebration pin, stickers, and my card to my channel. I gave him like a little gift. And he was like, "Man, thank you so much." So he was looking at it and he was like, "So what's your name?" And I'm like, I'm Tony. Nice to officially meet you." So it's like I walked away from there like he knew my name, he knew where I lived, like we're boys. It was
you
nuts.
gave him your social security number, you
Yeah.
anything he wants, it's his, right?
Basically, he's the chosen one. So that was in August. Now we fast forward to GalaxyCon. I fly to Columbus, Ohio for the con, and I get an autograph from him. So I do the autos right at 10 a.m. when it opened because I accidentally snuck in early somehow and got in line, and I was second in line. Yeah, it doesn't always work that way, but I finessed the system. So second
Alright, Tony.
se-
Alright.
second in line, and like when he sees me he lights up. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" So he didn't remember my name, which is fine. I didn't expect him to, but he remembered me. Like the look he gave me, he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, you again." So I brought this card and he signed this Topps World Between Worlds Anakin card,
Jeez.
and it
That's so sick.
came out insane. So he's signing it, and I had some stuff I wanted to ask him. I had him another little gift I wanted to give him. As he's signing it, he says to me, he goes, "Man, I found out that you're Sith." And I'm like, "Star Wars Sith?" He's like, "Yeah, I found out that that was you." Meaning he saw my YouTube channel. And
Yeah?
I
The
did
little
not
sticker thing that you gave
he
him,
he
right?
he must have scanned the QR code or found it somehow, but, like, he brought up, like, "Oh, I found out that you're Star Wars Sith," as if I'm, like, somebody, like, important or special, like, that blew my mind that he said that. It caught me off guard. I didn't expect that. So I kinda was like, "Oh, like, thanks. I'll see you at the photo op," and left, like, and I felt like he wanted to talk to me more, but it just caught me off guard. I was shocked
Yeah, yeah.
that Hayden said, "I found out you're this person from your Star Wars channel." It was insane. So the whole day I'm like, what did he see on my channel? Like, did he really watch my videos? Like, what did he see? And I'm just curious, like, did he randomly find it? Was it from like the stuff that I gave him in August? I don't know. So fast forward, I go in for the photo op. I think I get there. I didn't wait that long in line. I think I kind of finessed my way into a line I wasn't supposed to and got
Mhm.
in a group earlier than I was supposed to with
Hey,
VIP.
if it
So
gets the job done, it gets the job done. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. So waiting for the photo was like not even an hour, which is nothing for Hayden. Like that's quick if it's less than an hour.
Mhm.
So I walk up to him. He looks excited. It's so crazy. He looks like a little kid excited every time he sees me. And before I could say anything, and you know how quick the photo op is. They want you to stay in a position, face the camera, snap, next.
Gone like that.
Before I could even stand in position, he jumps in front of me and we're face to face. And he's like, "So man, your YouTube channel, you got a pretty popular channel, huh?" And I was like, Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's going pretty good." He's like, "Man, good for you. Good for you." And we're just having a convo in the middle of the photo op. And the guys are like, "Come on, position next." It's like yelling, but I'm just like
Uh-huh.
focused and like trying to comprehend that the chosen one said to me, "You got a pretty popular YouTube channel, huh?" And it was insane to hear that. And then I brought my Revenge of the Sith novel for me to hold and the Plagueis novel for him to hold.
Oh, I saw that photo. Yeah, I
And
thought
then
that was so funny, dude.
and we did the pose, and he is reading The Tragedy of
Oh my
Darth
god.
Plagueis the Wise. And like the picture came out awesome. Like it's confirmed he knows the tragedy, but
Yeah, okay, good, good.
walking out, it just like I got teary-eyed because like to hear Hayden like say that about my channel meant the world. And it's crazy how much he cares about his fans, remembers his fans. He took his time
Yeah.
to like look, and he must have at least watched one or two videos. He's not gonna just glance and assume it's like, a good channel or popular channel, whatever he said. I just was like speechless. I was left speechless after hearing that, Marley.
Dude, I don't blame you. I would have freaked out. And here's the thing about I want to say the majority of Star Wars actors, they all put in so much time and effort into making every interaction genuine. Like it's crazy. And I've never heard bad stories. I've heard like great stories about Ewan. Like while I was in line for the signings and everything,
Mhm.
I was told a story about like, yeah, last time I came here, I met Ewan McGregor and his like manager, someone was like rushing him and he told his manager, no, I'm having a conversation. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, okay. Like these people care. So hearing that Hayden cares, first of all, is not surprising at all. Like it just he gives the very lovey-dovey, like really nice uncle, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
vibe that's just like good for you, kid, good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um so it's just awesome, dude. Being able to tell someone Hayden saw my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Hayden, Anakin
I
Skywalker,
know.
the
I know.
chosen one. But that's so awesome, Tony. It's
Yes.
uh
Now I'm
I'm so happy
dying.
for you.
Thank you. I'm dying. Next con he's at, now that I know he knows my channel, I'm gonna go up to him and be like, "So, what did you watch? Did you subscribe? What did you think?" Like,
You better have subscribed.
I'm gonna start asking questions because now
Give
at
him
this point.
merch.
Huh?
Give him
Oh,
merch.
no, for sure. Yeah, I was actually thinking about
Yeah.
making a new hat that just said "The Chosen One." I wanna give him merch that's, like, subtle, not branding me.
Yeah,
That way
yeah.
he could wear it, because he's not gonna wear, like, something that, "Oh, this is this guy's logo, his podcast."
Yeah.
But, like, I wanna make this hat, but have it say "The Chosen One," because he
Mm.
loves wearing hats like this. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna bring him a gift for sure, but I definitely wanna ask him, like, what did he see? And I'm just gonna keep letting him talk and keep talking until he says have a good day or until he says bye, because both times I walked off too quick and I felt like he wanted to talk more. So
Mhm.
I'm not moving until I get yelled at or kicked out. Like that's it. I'm gonna spend more time. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for him to announce the next con that I could go to, because so far for 2025 he announced Fan Expo Vancouver in Canada, but I'm
Mhm.
waiting to see where he comes in the States. But
MegaCon, most likely.
hopefully, because I'm going to MegaCon, I'll be there, and that would be perfect. So we'll see. But for you, you said you got an autograph. So did you plan the autograph or no?
Yes and no. I bought they sell them in tiers, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
props are more expensive or whatever. I originally bought it so I can get this lightsaber signed. Um I walked out of that photo op and I was like, nope. Nope. I'm getting my photo signed. I care more about my photo. That
yeah,
memory that I hold of meeting him, I care about more than any lightsaber, more than any physical item. This is the only physical item I care for.
yeah,
So, I don't care how much I technically overpaid, right? Because I
uh-huh,
paid for something more
yeah,
expensive. I don't care
yeah,
about that. All I care about is that I have this signed. So, this alone, like the experience meeting him again to get it signed was just awesome,
hmm,
but it was just I found it so funny. I was stressing out the entire time. I was like, "Oh my goodness. I should I get the saber signed? Should I get the plaque signed? Should I get the photo signed? What am I going to do? Right? What should I get signed?" But at the bottom of my heart, I just knew, like in my gut, I need to get the photo signed. I
yeah,
need to. Because technically, yes, I could get this photo signed any other time, but it's not the same thing as
yeah,
getting this photo signed at the same con that I met him at. Like,
yeah,
it's not the same feeling at all. And I was like, no, I care about this more. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. The signing, Tony. This I
How long was
this
the line for the autograph? Was the autograph line crazy?
mhm. It was so bad. Both lines were terrible. It
Yeah.
was it was not a fun time. But um I don't care what anyone says about those people who bring those little like foldable or rolling chairs.
Oh god.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that's the way to go.
Oh, no,
That is
so I learned that after Chicago. Chicago, my autograph with Hayden was at 3 p.m. I
mhm.
didn't get it till 8 after the con closed. And as soon as I went on Amazon and I ordered that chair, so I have it. So I bring that chair. If I'm going to like Hayden or Ewan or Mark, I'm bringing that chair with me just in case, because you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, send me the link because I want one too. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
meet him
got you.
again.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen.
yeah,
I know for sure I'm gonna meet Ewan next. Like
yeah.
that's something I want to do. I'm not gonna get anything signed, but at least I'm gonna meet him because the same company who had sent me this, they want me to go get them a like a an Obi-Wan saber
Nice.
signed. I was like, oh, I got you, Pookies. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but oh my goodness, the signing. So it's finally time. I kept thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I really hope that they have like paint pens, right? Because paint pens is the way to go.
Mm,
In
I
my
always bring it.
personal
Yeah.
opinion, paint pens is the way to go. Don't get anything like if you're going to get an autograph or a prop or anything signed, don't do Sharpie.
Mm-mm.
Don't do it. It's dumb. Don't do that. It's not going to stick, it's not going to stay, and it's not going to look good. But anyways, it's the same experience like lining up and I was like freaking out, same feeling every single time. It's the same brand new feeling of like, oh my God, I'm meeting him.
Yeah.
Like, this is so cool. But I finally get to the table and, there's a couple of people lined up before him that are
Mhm.
like, organizing, putting tags on your items, assigning the paint pen colors.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll do blue because I got the lightsaber signed last time and it was blue. And I was like, let's do blue. And then I felt so bad. Once it was like my time to get it signed,
Uh-huh.
or no, it was like right before that. I saw someone else get something signed in gold, and I was like, ooh, that looks cool. That looks
Yeah.
fancy. I like it. So I told the woman, hey, can you just like do this in gold instead? So he's like, she switched it out.
Yeah.
Eventually, when he did sign it, uh, I guess like he wasn't told to sign it in gold. He got the blue one instead, and I had to like interrupt him and tell him, "No, I'm so sorry. Can you actually sign this in gold?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's okay." But I just felt
Yeah.
so bad that I interrupted him. It was quite an experience. But you remember how you were talking about how you felt like he still wanted to talk to you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The guy in front of me, the whole time, to me, this felt so disrespectful. I was like, you are spending so much money and so much time, and so many things happen for you to be here in this moment to meet Hayden Christensen, and
Uh-huh.
you don't look up at him. He's looking down, going through his, like, scrambling through his items to get something signed. And the
Yeah.
whole time, like, of course, Hayden can sign, and then he looks up and it continues signing. He looks up or whatever. And the
Yeah.
whole time, he's looking at him, but the guy's not looking back at him.
What?
And to me, I was like even my friend who I took with me, he
Yeah.
was with because you get to take someone with you. So my friend
Yeah.
got to see Hayden for free, and he was like, "Oh my God, he's so pretty too." And I was like, "I know, I told you." But the whole time, like we both agreed that like Hayden looked like he wanted some kind of acknowledgement. Like he wanted
Yeah.
to be acknowledged by the dude. Like at least say something. He said hi or whatever, and then that's it. No
Yeah.
conversation, nothing else. And like Hayden, his face looked like, oh man, you know,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just looked like an oh man. And I was like, you know what, baby, it's my time to shine. I'm up next.
Yes.
And of course, it started off with me interrupting him and telling him, "Can you please sign with gold?" But it was so worth it. I mean, look at that, and it's like
No,
nice and reflective.
that
Oh
looks
my
really
goodness,
good.
it
So
was so worth it.
what did he say when he saw the photo or when he saw you? What did he say?
So it was like he saw the photo, and this is why I'm so glad that I decided to get the photo signed. I'll get into that in a second. But he saw the photo and he smiled and everything, and he was just like, "Oh, it's so nice seeing you again." I was like, "Yeah," and I was trying to I was scrambling for words, and I was like, "I was gonna get this signed," and this was a youngling slayer, and last time I showed him the box. We're going back in time because Marley can't tell stories in order. But when I met him at LA Comic Con, I was like, but yeah, this is actually called the Youngling Slayer. And obviously he was being rushed and everything. He was like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, it's a Youngling Slayer. It's a joke. I showed him the box. He's like, oh, no. Oh, wow. It really is called the Youngling Slayer. And I was like, yeah, it's actually called it. And, so I was hoping that like this time when I saw him, he would see the box again. But I think he was just so focused on signing and looking at the
Yeah.
photo and looking at me that he didn't get to see it.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of told him, it's like, yeah, I was going to get this sign, but I had a great time meeting you and I changed my mind and I wanted to get this sign. He's like, no, you picked right. Like, I like this photo a lot and everything. And I just like, my
Mm,
heart melted. I think I zoned out for like 5 seconds. I was like, what just happened? Like,
yeah.
what? And I will say, like I mentioned before, looking at him, it was such a genuine time. He smiled, and the whole time he just seemed really happy that I was happy. You
Yeah.
know, he looked at me and he was probably thinking to himself, "This girl is this means a lot to her. Like, damn, she is red." Like,
Yeah.
but I am so glad that I went for the photo because one, he saw me once for the photo. He saw me twice for the signing, but he
Mhm.
saw me as he was signing. And I was like, that's more important because as
Yeah.
he's looking down, he sees my face. He looks in front,
Yeah.
he sees my face. Everywhere you see my face, like, and it was just it's such a great experience. I have the voice memos recorded on my Apple Watch. Anyone who runs cons, do not attack me for this. I wear an Apple Watch the majority of the time.
Yep.
I record conversations on those Apple Watches whenever I meet, like when I met Hayden. So I recorded my conversation with him. I just haven't looked at it because forgot to not like stop recording because I was freaking out. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this just happened. Wow, this is awesome. But anyways, I want to look back at it and like just hear his voice again and like the
Yeah.
whole interaction and hear how stupid I was. Oh my goodness.
Aw.
But to give you like perspective on like it's not just the fangirling effect where everyone thinks that they're special or everyone, that
Mhm.
kind of effect. It was my friend was there next to me. And my friend when we walked out, he was like he kept eye contact with you the whole time.
Yep.
He looked at you and he was smiling so hard the whole time. And I was like, oh my God, you're kidding. He's like, no, like I told him, it's like, I thought I was just like freaking out. This is just the fangirl effect. I just think that everything's about me. He's like,
Yeah.
no, the whole time he was just looking at you. And he seemed so happy to see you happy. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is cool.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, it was a really short experience and I was like choking up and I didn't really know what to say. And it was like, it was the first time that I felt really happy for a photo op. So that's another reason why I decided to get it signed because I've only ever had one other photo op and I
Mhm.
was very unhappy with it. It was at Star Wars Celebration Anaheim.
Uh-huh.
But I was really happy with how this photo turned out. And I told myself, it's like, I don't care. I just want him to sign it. Like this is all I care. Like, this is amazing. This is the best photo ever. Not only am I content with how I look, you can see my happiness. You can see how red I am. And it was just a great experience. And I mean, yeah, I went to Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim and I got a photo with the Clone Wars trio.
Yep.
And I was not happy with it. And
Mm.
I spent $300 on that photo op. And I had that money saved because I had a feeling. I was like, Hayden, he's gonna have photo ops. He's gonna have photo ops.
Oh,
He never
yeah.
did.
Mm.
Um, but I've had such a bad experience with it. I was like, no, and I found out you could like retake your photo later on if you ask nicely, and I found out too late. And then I was just like, I spent $300 on a photo I don't
Mm.
like, and the reason I don't like it is I was dressed in my Padme, which first of all, I don't like taking photos in cosplay.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't know. I feel so weird taking photos in cosplay, and nonetheless, like also photo ops in cosplay. But I got peer pressured into doing it, and then I feel this just came in. We're just talking about Star Wars Celebration at this point, but the point is, um, you know, I walked in. I was wearing my Padme. Ashley Eckstein or Eckstein, I think it's Eckstein.
Yeah.
Um, she goes, oh, you should stand next to Anakin, Matt Lanter. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just let her move me. I was like, go ahead, like,
Yeah, yeah,
move
yeah.
me. And then Matt Lancer, like, right before the photo, puts his hand around me. I feel him touch me, and I freak out. And I went, And then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could see how awkward I was in the photo because I didn't know what to do. I heard the timer go off, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
yeah.
Like, I felt, oh, you know, I didn't like how I looked in that photo. Um, I have so many regrets about that photo. So that's why when this photo turned out amazing, and then the experience was amazing. Not to say that the Clone Wars
Yeah.
Trio one wasn't, because it was awesome. Because I always have a story to tell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But this one, I was just like, it's just there's something about the person that like makes you when you think of Star Wars, you think of him, right? That
Yeah.
actor, that character. And that person makes you feel valued, even if
Mhm.
it's for 10, 15 seconds, but they make you feel valued. It's just awesome. And you know that feeling. You've had that feeling 8 times. But
Yes.
but yeah, it was a great experience and I want to meet him again. And I'm hoping this is where the fangirling happens. I'm really hoping I have a memorable face, you know? I hope next time he remembers me. Ashley
Yeah.
Eckstein has a great memory. That woman, the second time I saw her, she's like, "Have I met you before?" Like, I was
Ooh.
like, "Yeah," and she's like, "You were wearing your Padme, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And I'm
Damn,
like,
that's
I hope
good.
Hayden will. I was like, I hope Hayden
S
sees this tomato face and thinks to himself, "Hmm, I've seen this tomato face before." Like,
I
I
think
just,
he will, because he remembered me. He remembers quite a few people. I've met a few people, like, from going to cons on Instagram, on YouTube, where they remember Hayden, like, Hayden remembers them over and over. So, like, the more and more you meet him, he will, and what's crazy is, like, it feels like the first time every time. Even the 8th time, I even saw him earlier that day, and it still felt the same seeing him again at night. It's crazy. It just means so much because like that's like my childhood. Like I
yeah,
saw all those movies in theaters. When Jumper came out after Revenge of the Sith, I saw that in theaters. Like
no way.
everything, yeah. So it's like I grew up like with Hayden, and just to see him in person, and now he just acknowledges me as like a human being that he knows
Yeah,
is
you're a
is
homie.
yeah, it's mind blowing. It's crazy. Now it's like I want to run into him like at you because you see how people like take pictures with him at the airport or at Disney.
At Disney,
Like
yeah.
I want to run into him somewhere random because I feel like he'll want to just talk and vibe and like you want to go to the bar and get a drink real quick, like because there's nobody to rush you. I feel like he'll want to just
Yeah,
genuinely talk and just vibe out. So I just can't wait
dude.
to the next experience I get with him, man.
With with Hayden, I feel like this is something you and I need to oh, there goes that light. But something you and I definitely need to do sometime.
Uh-huh.
We need to watch every Hayden movie and we need to give each other our thoughts on that. Because I have
Oh,
some thoughts. I have some thoughts. I have you seen what is it, Little Italy or something like that?
no. So I haven't seen a lot of his other movies. I know there's a few. I've seen Jumper and I love Jumper because that's just Anakin versus Mace Windu when I watch that movie
No,
every
for
single
real.
time. But like he was in that one movie was with like wasn't it like T.I. and a bunch of other people and they were like robbing something. He was in a movie
Yeah.
like that. And I think that movie was cool, but like if Hayden, like, bro, it's just Anakin just robbing with these dudes. It was cool. But I need to check out his other work because I haven't seen it. But like for the longest, it's kind of like he really didn't do much until recently he came back with Kenobi, with Ahsoka, and
Mhm.
I think we're gonna see him in Ahsoka season 2.
I think it's gonna happen, and he's been very vocal about wanting to come back in Star Wars one way or another. Come back, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing it." And we want him, and of course, it like to a certain extent, it does kind of feel like fan service. But as long as it's done well, I don't
Yeah,
care, you know.
yeah.
And I don't care saying that it's fan service. I don't care. Call me a fake fan for all you want, but at least I'm a fan. Like I want him in Star Wars more, and I'm this is where the delusional Marley comes in.
Mhm.
But Natalie Portman has also been really open to coming
Sh
back to Star Wars.
she said that twice on 2 different talk show interviews, and I clipped that out both times.
Mhm.
She has said that twice, and it would make sense for her to come back in Ahsoka season 2 in a flashback because Ahsoka knows Padme. Like, it makes sense. You could do it, and, like, how you said with fan service, it's crazy when it's done well, it works. Like, in Ahsoka,
Mhm.
Hayden was in 4 episodes. He was at the end of episode 4. Episode 5 was his whole episode. Episode There's another episode where he was the hologram while she was training.
That's
A-
right. Yep.
And then in the finale, he was a Force ghost just chilling in Peridia, smiling at her. And it was perfect. Like, we got him 4 times, which is kind of overkill. He's in half the season, if you think of it. And it made sense because, like, that's his master. It was continuing her story, his story. And
Yeah.
it does make sense where that could happen in season 2 in a flashback or even present day, because they're on Peridia. Like, he could probably help her to try to get off there, or like some other valuable lesson. They could flash back to Padme. You could
Yeah.
throw Ewan in the Clone Wars armor that he's dying to wear.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Were you at that panel at LA Comic-Con when Ewan said that?
I did. I did end up leaving earlier, but I was there when he said
He said
that. I
that?
ended up leaving just because, oh my goodness, LA Comic Con in general, not a vibe. Not a vibe, I tell you. You're standing the whole time. Everyone's like sardines. And I was like, no, I can't do this. But I saw, and he was like, yeah, the armor or whatever. And I saw how excited, and it seemed he was very vocal about wanting to wear it. I think because he
Yeah.
saw Hayden do it, and he's like,
I want
yeah, I
that.
want to do that too.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
Damn,
Oh
so
my.
awesome. So the next thing I wanted to get into is you went to the Skeleton Crew premiere, right? The red
Mm-hmm.
carpet world premiere. So how did you find out that you were going? Like, was it an email? Was it a phone call? Like, tell me about that first, your reaction to getting that.
Ooh, okay, so if you guys don't know, Star Wars, the admins, they are pretty active on Twitter, and they've seen my tweets a couple of times. They've interacted with me a couple of times, and I will talk about my experience personally meeting the admin.
Ooh.
But they sent me a DM on Twitter and was like, because I tweeted out something because originally, so um, what is it? Star Wars was having like these like in theater releases for Skeleton Crew all around
Yeah.
the US, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, heck yeah, I'm going. It's for free. Let's do it." So I tweeted out something. I was like, "I will make sure I go one way or another. I don't care that it's on a Monday and I may have to skip school a little bit."
Yeah.
Uh Needless to say, my professor, when I told her I was skipping school for that, well, what it ended up being, she was like, "I would too." And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Yeah." Um but basically, I had tweeted that out, and then they sent me my own tweet, and they're like, "How I'll do you one better. How about you join me at the premiere?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god, what is going on?" Right? Like, holy crap. Um, and I was like, and I wasn't only excited that I finally got to go to like a big Star Wars premiere, and but I was also so excited that I finally got to meet the admin. Because to be honest,
Yeah.
some of the best experiences I had at the Skeleton Crew premiere were the conversations I had with them. Like
Yeah.
that was just awesome. They're awesome. They're really genuine and nice people who
Mhm.
care about their fans and about Star Wars fans in general. And you know how Twitter is.
Oh god.
It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah, yeah.
it's a fun time, and
Oh.
to say the least. And they see that. They see everything. Um so they try their best to, oh, actually, friends with Swagman.
Ooh,
Oh
let's
yeah.
go.
That's so sick. And I got my little Neil Nation pin.
Oh, if you ever get an extra one of that somehow, let me know. Hit up your pal.
Oh, I think I actually do. I think I do have an extra one. Let me find it, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I don't know if I have an extra Neil Nation or if I have a different one, but I know I have another pin. I will keep you
Let me
updated.
know. Let me know. Yes.
But anyways, so yeah, I got the DM and I started freaking out and I was like, and I was like, yeah, of course. Like yeah, anything you want, sure. And they're like, can you meet me at Disneyland at 5 p.m. on Monday? And I was like, "Uh, well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I got you. No worries, Spooky." And I was like, why Disneyland? And then I get sent more like messages about the information about the event. And
Mhm.
then I find out that they're finally using Tomorrowland Theater, which they haven't used in years for
Oh.
anything. So I personally like I don't know if you know this, but it wasn't until recently, I want to say 2022, 21 or so, that I didn't go to Disney for like 10 years. It was like a 10-year gap where I just didn't go. My
Uh-huh.
parents and I didn't really go to Disney. and it wasn't right timing. And so I never had the chance to, when Tomorrowland Theater was being used, to go inside. So when I found out that they were going to help hold the event not only at Disneyland, but I got to be in Tomorrowland Theater. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is sick." Very few people get to be in there for like in general now, but
Mhm.
also for the event. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome. I can't this is whoo." I was freaking out like crazy. I couldn't believe it. I literally I saw my phone, I read the messages, and I was like, "Whew." I threw my phone on my bed at my apartment in Southern California.
Yeah.
And I started jumping. I was just jumping. I didn't even know what to do with myself. I just started jumping up and down. I was like, this is awesome. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But it was so amazing. And, I got the information, and that day I found out, is this playing something? This is playing something. Anyways, I found out that my friend Brent also got invited. And I was like, "Oh, Brent, you better go." And he just had a baby too. So I felt kind
Uh-huh.
of bad that like I was over here kind of telling him I wish he could go and everything. He's like, "I want to go. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
go." And I mean, first of all, everyone say congratulations to Brent. He's an awesome father, by the way. But yeah, like, oh my goodness. I found out he got invited, and I was like, and I didn't know anyone else that was going. It was
Mhm.
like very secretive. Usually some, people would like post online that they're going to the
Yeah,
event or
yeah.
whatever. No, I didn't know. Like, I ended up seeing some people there, like Isabella Amidala.
Yeah, yep,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
there. Carly was there. Like a bunch of other people were
Gabe
there
was
as well.
there.
Gabe was there. I finally got to
Yeah,
meet Gabe. That's a whole
yeah.
other thing. But oh, I can talk about this forever. But the
Yes.
point is, like, I didn't know anyone else that was going except Brent. And I think there was like one other Twitter mutual that I knew that was going as well, but like I only heard through someone else, and I've personally never met them. I never knew what they looked like. So I was
Yeah,
like, what if we don't vibe? I was like, of course I'm
yeah,
a very social person and I always find a way to vibe with everyone, but I just had that anxiety in me. And I was like, please go, Brent, please. I don't want to go by myself. There was no
yeah.
plus ones because it was Tomorrowland Theater. Usually there's plus ones at these
Oh,
events. Yeah,
yeah.
usually there is. And there wasn't this time. And then the next day, I'm in the group chat with these girlies of mine. We're from they're my little Twitter friends, and I found out that they also got invited. And I was like, oh, yes, heck
Yes.
yes. So we all ended up going together. It was tons of fun. Brent eventually he found a way to make it work. His wife was like, his wife's family was like, no, you gotta let him go. Like this is a event of a
It
lifetime. Like you
is,
gotta
it
let him go.
is.
So they helped her out and everything. Brent ended up making it work. The I will say one of the most stressful parts was their clothing, like the attire that they required, or like what they kind of what is it called? The dress code, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That they gave us. It was Star Wars chic. What the heck
What is
is
that?
Star Wars chic? Tell me. I was freaking out. And my friends who have gone to the Rebuild the Galaxy event in El
Yeah.
Capitan, when they got their message too, it said Star Wars chic.
Uh-huh.
And then they ended up like they felt like they underdressed because they thought like chic was more just like, like Star Wars fan apparel here and there.
Yeah.
Some people were dressed up in full glowing like dresses and flowy dresses and everything and
Yeah.
heels. And then this is my friend Kathy. She was like, I just showed up in jeans and like a shirt. And I was like, oh my goodness. So we all started freaking out. Like, what the heck is Star Wars chic? So I started searching up Star Wars chic. I searched up chic and
Uh-huh.
all of that, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know. So finding out something to wear was definitely a little bit of a pain in the booty. I tried my
Yeah.
best to make it like pirate themed.
Uh-huh.
I got some pants that were like dress pants, like office pants in a way, but they
Mhm.
were like lined, so they gave pirate vibes.
Okay.
And then I don't know, I had like a leather ish fake leather jacket that I got from like Levi's, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
that gives pirate vibes too. So I try to go for it. Um, but anyways, yeah, I was extremely excited, of course. I was freaking out. I found out my friends were going, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great because I haven't seen some of these girls um since I went to see Ewan McGregor get his start on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I haven't seen them since then. And then
Yeah.
two other of them, like I haven't actually, one of them I recently saw because I went to the Arcane finale event. And
Oh.
one of them though, I haven't seen since February, since I went to the Bad Batch premiere. So
Damn. Yeah.
it felt like a reunion. I was like, it's just me and the girls, and
Yeah.
Brent, and we still vibe with Brent, like it was girls, 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 a little bit taller, cause me and then Brent. Like it was just so funny. Um, but yeah, it was just, oh my goodness, I was freaking out. I didn't know what to expect. The actual event. Tony, I can say so many things. Do you want to ask me something about event, or do you want me to just
No, go into it. Like, what was the event like? Who did you meet? Who did you talk to? Like, go. Say everything and anything.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, of course, we ended up going, my friends and I, we met up in the parking lot and we took the shuttles to go to like downtown Disney to one of the little ticket booths. And
Mhm.
I honestly forgot they still had the ticket booths. You can buy tickets in person the day of at Disney. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
crazy.
what? But anyways, they had a whole booth and it's funny because my friends and I, like, we all like met up at the area between Disney and DCA,
Mhm.
and we all just kind of met up there. And as we started walking our way to like the booth, some people who were working there, who were obviously dressed for Skeleton Crew, and they walked up to, or like we walked up to them and walked past them, and they went, oh, over here. And I was like, what? They're like, Skeleton Crew, right? And I was like, yeah. Or they said
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here. I was like, how'd you know? And in my head I was thinking like, what? How do they know? And then I was like, Marley, come on, who the heck dresses for Disney like this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
come
yeah.
on, who dresses this way for Disney? um but yeah, we ended up getting our badges and everything, and it was so cool. Oh, I don't think I unpacked it, my badge. I don't even know where it is right now. I just
Mhm.
moved home. Everything is everywhere. But, we got our badges. We started freaking out. We had an escort literally walk us to Tomorrowland Theater, which is, I felt so cool. Like, me and my friends are
Yeah.
all dressed up, but all these other people are just eating their churros and enjoying Disney. And I was like, I felt out of place. I felt famous kind of in a
Yeah,
way, right?
yeah.
I was like, I'm dressed up nice. They had us escorted there, and it was pretty cool. The little like walkway. There was like a couple of photo ops areas, and then I met one of the admins there for Star
Mhm.
Wars that works, and a couple of people who work for like StarWars.com, I think.
Yeah.
And we all took photos and videos on the backdrop. I think one of the people who works for Star Wars started taking videos of like me and Brent, and we had like lightsabers and started doing like this force choking thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to those videos. Those StarWars.com editors or whoever it was, send me those videos, guys. Like, come on, man, post it, make me famous. Oh, I'm kidding, but I was like, it felt so cool. I was there with my friends, and you know, um, we were treated so well. My friend Kathy, she makes I actually have it right here. She makes little friendship bracelets.
Oh, nice.
This one says crew. It's kind of the other way around, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And she makes friendship bracelets. So what's really nice is that Kathy and I both record a lot of these kind of events. And for the video that I made, I actually used a lot of her clips, which is nice because otherwise I wouldn't have been in a lot of the video.
Mhm.
But she was giving out her little bracelets to everyone who worked there, to some of the workers who were just cleaning. And I remember
Aw.
she gave it to one of the workers that was cleaning, and he seemed like kind of like he looked around like, is my manager looking? It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
why would your manager be mad for like for accepting a friendship bracelet? Like, what?
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was there was two little backdrops to take photos. We met with a couple of people outside. That was a lot of fun. I met I'm gonna screw up her username, but I think it's Pixelated Erica.
Oh, yes, I love her.
I met
She's
her.
awesome.
I felt so bad though. When I first met her, she was behind me and I was waiting
Uh-huh.
in line to get my photo taken. And I said, You're Michaela, right? Like magic with Michaela. And I couldn't
Oh.
see her face too well because she had her like big that one hat for that one droid that you can like boop them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For
Yeah,
Mando.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't really see. And then she kept looking her way, and I was like, I told my friend, I was like, I swear that's her. I swear that's her. And then when I told her, she was like, oh no, I'm Erica, but I am really good friends with her. I was like, oh wait, I know who you are still. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just like it was really funny. It was a funny experience to say the least. But
Yeah.
there was a couple people there they had like popcorn and a bunch of other things as well, but they sat us down and it was assigned seating. And I was like, dang,
Ooh.
that sucks. At least they put me next to Brent. So
Oh,
the
nice.
admin who like, because, when I gave all the information to the admin on when they messaged me on Twitter, and I was like, do I need to give them my name? Do I need to give them like information? And they're like, oh, don't worry, I already put your name down. I was like, what? I was like, what? And then I realized, oh, they had sent me a package earlier that had my name and address and everything on it. So they just
Yeah.
used that. By the way, the admin on Twitter, they have your name, they have your address, they have your email, and they have your phone number. Hide. But no. Um, anyways, it was I was really happy they put me next to Brent. It was a lot of fun. I the group that I spent it with, it couldn't have gone any better. They were just
Yeah.
awesome the whole time. But anyways, we were trying to find our seats, and I saw at the end of my row was Isabella there, and I was like, "Oh, Isabella, hi!" And I saw her, gave her a little hug. She was dressed
Yeah.
in her little like pirate fit, and I was like, "Hey, okay, girl."
Yeah.
And that was really cool. There's like a couple of people around me, and the row in front of me was Gabe, and then
Mm.
next to him was Carly, and I think like a couple of other people as well. I think there's this one couple. I don't think I've ever followed them or knew their names, but I know they make Star Wars content, and
Oh,
they have
is
a
it
baby.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I forgot their name, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
Brian. I think
M
that's a guy's
m
name.
maybe, but they're cool though, 'cause I follow both of them, like, on Instagram and YouTube. They're both really cool.
Yeah, I've seen their content every now and then show up whenever they go to the parks and they dress up
Yeah,
as a
yep,
family, and I'm
yep,
like, oh, that's so
yeah,
adorable.
yeah,
But they were in front of me, to my right. I I didn't know who was next to me, but I like they seemed really familiar. At least the girl did. But I was sitting
uh-huh,
next to the guy, and the guy was like so cool. Like I was like bouncing jokes off back and forth from him as like
yeah,
the show that was actually showing up on the screen, and uh, it was a lot of fun just seeing everyone. Oh my goodness! And all the way to my right, and I think actually in my row were the kids who were there, and
yeah,
it was so cool. Like I mean, you know before the screening actually happened, you had the director show up on this like on the stage in front,
yeah,
starting saying nice things and whatever. They pointed to the right side, and the kids were there. They all showed up. The little kid who plays Neil Robert.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, he is just like his character. I swear, it's so adorable. Every interview I've seen of him, and then just the way he was acting at the premiere too. Like he
Yeah.
like jumped up out of his seat and like started saying some things that even the director was like, "Oh, hi, Robert." Like it was just so funny. Um, all of them were sitting there. Uh, I didn't find out until after the premiere. Dave Filoni and John Favreau were sitting two or three rows in front of me, and I had no idea.
Damn.
I
And
was
you
so oh my god, dude. I was so in the moment. I was here
Yeah.
with my friends. I was enjoying the show. It was dark. How am I going to see people from the back of their head? Like and
You
I
didn't
was
see
just
the cowboy hat? You didn't see, like, the cowboy hat silhouette?
so many people were wearing hats. I'm sorry.
Oh, true, true.
It was just my friends and I we all found out. I was talking to my friend Jill, and she was like, "What do you mean that the admin was the one that told us?" We found out. Oh no, we found out the night of when we were talking
Uh-huh.
to the admin after the screening. And she's like, "You guys didn't see John and Dave in front of you guys?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And Jill's like, "Yeah, what do you mean? Like, what? They're right there." And she's like, "Yeah, like they're right there." And I was like, "What the heck? I didn't know that. I
Oh,
wish I would have known that. I would have. Oh my goodness!" But Jude Law was there, all the
yeah.
entire cast and everything. The actual show, the screening, they showed us 3 episodes instead of two, so we got that special
Ooh.
treatment.
And the 3rd episode is probably still my favorite episode of the show. The 3rd episode was a banger.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
third episode so far is my favorite. I
yeah.
really, really love it. Fourth episode was pretty good. It
Uh-huh.
was a little bit. It felt like they were trying to go for the serious tones of like Andor
It
in a
gave me
way, but then
Fallout vibes, the Fallout show vibes. It gave me that in the middle. I was like, "This is
I need to
Fallout."
finish that. But yes,
Oh, Fallout is so good. Oh my god. I never played the game. I know nothing about Fallout. I
same.
watched that whole show, mind blown, and then I started playing the game.
I started watching it because of Ella Purnell, because she plays
Oh,
this character right here,
she's in that.
this one.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, I was like, "I wanna watch it," right? But I started watching it, and it was also during I was while I was sick, and I couldn't keep focus, and the
Focus.
second half of the first episode was it felt like a whole different show. I didn't know what was going on, so I need to rewatch that. But
Yeah.
anyways, it was definitely very different vibes. But it was really cool. And then this last episode too,
Oh, so good.
Jod, Jod, I don't know what to do with Jod anymore.
Yo, he's a Sith. He is a Sith. I hope he's dark side. I hope he doesn't turn. I hope he just stays like an evil pirate. Please.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but this man, every week I'm like, ooh, I don't trust him. The next week,
Uh
ooh, I trust him. I don't trust him.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
make up your mind. Like,
Yep.
my emotions can't handle this. Like,
Yes.
anyways, at the actual screening, it was so much fun. And I will say it time and time again, nothing is better than Star Wars on the big screen.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Nothing. I don't care. I went to the Star Wars marathon earlier this year at the El Capitan Theater, and
Yeah.
it was my first time watching the prequels in the big screen, and there's nothing like it. In a
Mm.
room, like, yes, I was in the same, like, I went to opening night for No Way Home. I went to all these Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel nerd too.
Ooh,
There
yes.
was a moment in my life that I knew more about Marvel than I did Star Wars.
Yeah.
Uh, and, I've been to all those experiences, but nothing compares to Star Wars. And just
Yeah.
all the people next to you freaking out, making jokes every now and then. Just seeing everyone's reaction is just like, it bounces off the walls and then you can feel it.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome feeling. So watching this show that, first of all, Skeleton Crew in general is just whatever they're doing with marketing is awesome. They're like
Yeah.
getting all the nostalgia feeling, right?
The
And I'm
80s
like, oh,
vibes. Yeah.
I've told my friends and I've tweeted out before. I was like, I wish I could be in the room where the entire marketing team was sitting down and they decided to market their videos, or those edits that they made it the 80s vibes or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And I wish they would just sit me in the corner and I'm just sitting there,
Yeah.
tape around my mouth, tie me to a chair. I don't
Yeah.
care. Just have my ears open and I just want to hear them talk about it. Like, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
But the marketing for it is just awesome. I just finished school from marketing. Like, I studied marketing. So to me, this is
Yeah.
like super exciting. But then also the show itself. Oh my goodness. I see myself in every single one of the characters.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
especially the kids, like, I can pick apart, like, the KB thing where, like, every now and then I'm a little hesitant. I'm like, guys, I don't think we should be doing this. And there's times where I'm like, Fern, I'm like, fuck it, we ball. Like, we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
do this.
yeah.
I'm like, try to fake it till you make it. Like, you're this badass girl, right? And then, like, Neil,
Oh, he's
Neil is
so
just a
innocent.
sweetheart. He's just so
He's
sweet.
pure. I love Neil. I got
I
this
know.
awesome sketch of Neil.
That's so
Yeah.
adorable. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
That's so cute.
It's on my desk here. It looks at me every day like it's my wife.
Just like, God damn. But and then you look at Wim, and Wim is like every kid who grew up watching Star Wars.
Yep.
Faking the lightsaber fights is just so. It's like they're craving the excitement and that comes with adventure, and it's just an
Yeah.
amazing like feeling seeing that in these kids that I honestly like. I felt like our generation was kind of like the last generation to feel that kind of excitement of
Yeah.
imagination, right? Because you don't get to
Yep.
see imagination as much. I've
Nope.
seen my younger cousins. It doesn't really seem like they got a lot of imagination anymore. I've seen the new generation with their iPads and everything, and
No.
it
Oh.
felt so nice seeing younger kids experience that and be just, be in this whole world that's so mystical, and then just they just crave this adventure, and I'm like, that's exactly how I was as a
Yeah.
kid. And I see myself, and even as not even a kid, even Jod, but even I see myself as Jod, and it's just like I see myself as all these characters, and it just feels so great. It feels so nostalgic. It feels like kind of like a very homey feeling,
Yeah.
like I feel comfortable, or I find a lot of comfort in the show. So just watching it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. I watched the first 3 episodes and I was like, I want more. What do you mean I have to wait 2
2
weeks?
weeks,
Because everyone
yeah.
had to wait 1. We had to wait 2 weeks. And not just that, I had to wait a whole week before I could even start talking about Skeleton Crew
Yeah.
because I kept mixing them up. I started talking to my friends like after the premiere, like a day or 2 after about the show, and I realized, "Oh, I just told you something about episode 3." I was like, "Oh no," because I
Yeah.
mixed them together. They played them back to back, and I couldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much for my small little mind. Like,
Oh.
what am I? It was just so difficult. So I just told myself, I'm not going to talk about it at all until the 3rd episode comes out. So then at least I know I'm in the safe zone, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
But turns out my other friends had the same problem as well. But there's just so many things to talk about the show. And the 3rd episode alone was just so awesome.
So good.
Like, dude, what? But yeah, I mean, the screening was so cool. And then right as it ended, everyone kind of cleared out and everything, and I
Uh-huh.
went to my left, and there's 2 exits, but I went to my left, and the one of the Star Wars admins was there, and they were extremely nice. She was like, think about, try to figure out like the best way to word this. Think about like the one aunt that you have that's just like all they care about is making sure that you have the funnest experience in the
Yeah, yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah,
And they're
yeah.
so proud of you for the littlest details ever. And they remember everything. It just felt like they cared about you so much. And we had, you know, all the girls that were invited through like Twitter or through like Instagram or like anyone who was invited directly from the admin. We all had like a little circle around there, and
Mhm.
we started talking to her, and something that really like stuck to me was, first of all, the way that she talked about how much she loves her job. She's not
Yeah.
just doing her job because it's a marketing job or whatever. She's doing her job because she really likes it. And I can feel that. I can hear that in her voice, the
Mhm.
way she talked about things. But then what really stuck with me is she was like, "You guys are like my family. Like I try ever
Aw.
since like the Bad Batch premiere, like I try to get you guys as like as often as I can to these kind of events. Like you girls make my experience as an admin so much fun. You make my job so much more fun.
Yeah.
Like you guys are like my family, and when I even talk to like my husband, and and I talk to them or talk to him about you guys as their usernames, like, yeah, what do you mean, you remember
Aw.
Bounty Saber, like, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Ahsoka's goggles, this and that. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is so adorable. Like she cares so much about us,
Yeah.
and she cares so much. And this goes for all the admins, of course, but the one that we were talking to, she really put so much emphasis on, you guys are like why I do my job. You guys are why I really love this, and
Mhm.
I love interacting with you guys. And something that also really stuck with me was she went, she was talking to all of us at the same time, and then she went to me and she was like, I don't know if you know this, Marley. We've been interacting since 2022. And I was like, how do you remember that? And she's like,
Damn.
yeah, we've been interacting for 2022. She was like, even when you deleted your account and got a new account, we still interacted after that and everything. And I was like, to me, it
Wow.
was just wild. Like I mentioned that I deleted my account and everything. She's like, yeah, I remember that. It was just wild. I
Wow.
um I was tweeted out in 2022. 2022. I was tweeted out, happy birthday, Marley.
Oh, and
And
didn't you, like, print that and put it in a yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It was so cool.
yeah.
So I did actually end up printing it out. I told the admin when they first tweeted it out that I would print it. And it took me a while, but I did. I
Yeah.
printed it, the little
Happy
happy
birthday,
birthday,
Marley.
Marley. And
Yes.
12:06 p.m. on June 28th, 2022 was the best time of my life. Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was such a great experience. And I asked her, I was like, so who, I know at the time there's several admins. You can tell because of the way that they, you know, the way they use grammar, punctuation, or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, who's the one that tweeted that out? And she's like, that was me. And I was like,
Oh,
what? That's so sick.
wow.
And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, that was me. And she's like, by the way, every tweet that goes out gets funneled through me, gets accepted by me, gets my authorization. And I was like, oh my goodness, every
Oh.
interaction that you see that's extremely genuine, every message that they sent out to other people on Twitter, it's them and they truly cared. It's just,
Yeah.
it was so awesome. And I can't count the amount of times we had like 3 whole conversations with her, like, in different times. You just ended up running into her all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I can't count how many times in those conversations that I was reminded how much she cares about her job, how much she cares about us, how much she cares about Star Wars fans in general. It's
Yeah.
just awesome. Like, it's nice to know that people up behind the Star Wars brand actually care about Star Wars, actually care about their fans, understand that in some places as toxic as Twitter, that of
Yeah.
course, that, they see the hate and they understand that a lot of us go through a lot of hate because we show our love for certain shows or
Yeah.
certain projects or whatever. And they're like, I just want to remind you guys that, like, you know, I'm very thankful that you guys are like still here. You're still like, how would I, you're expressing your love for something,
Mhm.
you're sticking through it. And I was like, it felt, as a fan, like I felt so valued. I'm like, I can't
That's
count
awesome.
how many times as a female Star Wars creator I've been given shit, been told that I'm a fake fan. I'm I don't deserve to watch Star Wars. Even as a conversation I had, not even even a comment that I had like 2 or 3 weeks ago, as early as, yeah, as early as that, like, I was told that I don't deserve to watch Star Wars. Like, Star Wars isn't for girls or some stuff like that. And I've been
Yeah.
getting this hate. I mean, like, since even before I started like making content. Sure, I started making content in 2021, so it's been a
Yeah.
3.5 years or so. But even that, you grow up as a girl loving Star Wars, and then it just looks really boyish, very masculine, and
Mhm.
you just feel like it's not for you. So it just felt like so nice being valued as as a fan, that, like, yeah, you're a fan. You're equal amongst all of them. You're like, you deserve to be here. It just felt so good.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever fully put into words or express how I feel about the situation, because it's just, I felt so genuine. Every conversation I had with the admin, I was just like next to my friends, I was hugging them, I was holding on to them or something, and I was like so close to being in tears. Like, I
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh my goodness." It felt so awesome. Um, but yeah, like, we walked out, we had that conversation, we ended up meeting with them again. Like, I
Mhm.
swear everywhere we went, admin was there. They know our
Yeah.
address, they know our phone number, they know everything. They put a little chip into us, and now they track us. But um we had another conversation with them outside, and at the main admin is such a yapper. I love her.
Mhm.
She's just like us. I swear, she loves talking, she loves Star Wars. I'm like, girl, besties, I swear.
Yeah.
But anyways, we kind of walked away from that. I had to go to the restroom before I actually ended up talking to her outside. So I had to leave the main conversation inside the Tomorrowland Theater because I had to go to the
Mhm.
restroom. I was like, I gotta go. I was like, I can't hold it. I was trying to hold it in the whole time. I was like,
Ooh.
3 episodes, like, yay,
Yeah.
but also, like, I was freaking out. So I ran to the restroom, and my friend Jillian went with me as well. And as we were coming back or going there, I don't remember exactly, but
Mhm.
we ended up running to one of the actresses.
Ooh.
We ran into Ryan. She's the girl that plays Fern.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
to me, Fern was literally exactly how I was as a kid.
Yeah.
I walked out like watching that, and I started talking to all my friends. I was like, guys, Marley was Fern. Fern was Marley.
Yeah.
Fern is still Marley to a certain extent. But I was just like,
Yeah.
I felt so connected with the character, and it's just so funny that, like, after I got to do my stuff, I see like the actress there, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, can I get a selfie?" And I got a selfie with her with my friend
Yeah.
Jillian as well. And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And Jillian was so good with like having an actual conversation with her. For me, I was just freaking out. I was like, "You're my favorite character in the show. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you did a great job." Like, I was just, and Jillian's like, "You did amazing." She had her cool, like, she kept her cool and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was so nice, and it's just really cute that these kids, even though you know they are actors and they are very mature for their age,
Yeah.
but they're still kids at the end of the day. And you can see that in their interviews and everything. And it was so nice. And like the actress for Fern, Ryan, she was so pretty in her little outfit and everything. And I was just like, it was such a cool experience. Before, I just realized when the screening actually ended, um, I wanted to go to the restroom before and I went the wrong way. I ended up running into the kid that plays Wim, Ravi,
Oh, Ravi.
and I got
Yeah.
a photo with him too as well, so I
Yeah.
got to meet 2 of them. Ravi, first of all, this kid is exactly like Wim. I'm not even like, he is so nice too.
Yeah.
One of my mutuals, dang, I don't remember his actual name, but he's Star Wars props on Instagram.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he is kind of a talent agent or something. He does something around like talent for Star Wars,
Yeah.
at least for Ravi. And he was like taking photos of Ravi and everything. And I went, I can't pass up this opportunity. I
Yeah.
went, hi, Ravi. Can I take a photo with you? Can I take a selfie? And Ravi was just like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. So I got 2 selfies with 2 of them. I either on the way that I was going to to the restroom or after, I don't care, but I got to meet
Yeah.
2 of them, and I was like, I love these characters so much, and I love, I'm really sad that I didn't get to meet
Neil?
um I didn't get to meet Neil, Robert, or I'm gonna butcher her name because I haven't heard it like many times, but I think it's like Curiana
KB?
or yeah, KB.
Yeah,
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 I don't
yeah.
know her actual actress's name because
Yeah.
I haven't heard it enough times,
Uh-huh.
Show some love to KB, please, guys. But yeah, so that was definitely a lot of fun. Um, I had a lot more conversations after that. I found out too. In the original message, they told us, by the way, you get to have like a free lightning lane to Smuggler's Run. And I was like, heck yeah, we get to go to Smuggler's
Oh,
Run for free and like skip the line. We found
nice.
out there that we were actually given a wristband to go build our own droid for free. We were surprised with that.
What?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my god, that's so awesome." I've always
Yeah.
wanted to build a droid, but I've always been too broke to do it. And I was like, you know.
Yeah.
And then my friends and I, we all ended up building droids together. It was such a fun
Oh.
experience. And it was so cute too cuz I was like recording my friends and like like how focused they were, like, they were like messing up here and there, or how
Yeah,
excited they
yeah,
were. Like
yeah.
my friend Sabine, she was like freaking out. She's like, so cute and everything. And it felt so nice. I look to my right and I see my friend Kathy, and she's having a fun time as well. I look to my left, I see Brent over there struggling a little bit, and it was a lot of fun. I know I saw Carly there too, so somewhere in the background of her video, I'm there.
Yeah.
But it was just so cool. It's like a nice little touch, and I got to build a droid. I actually do have him somewhere in that corner. Hold on a second. We're gonna do a little show and tell. That's what it
Yes.
feels like nowadays,
Yes.
apparently. I'm over here just grabbing things. I do not have a name for him. No name.
Ooh,
But
nice.
hold on a second. Alrighty. I don't have a name for him because I'm really bad at naming things.
Yeah.
But this is my little handsome man.
Yo, that
Look
looks
at him.
good. That looks really good.
Right?
It's just a red R2. That's
Pretty
awesome.
much. The parts, I'm not gonna lie, that day they weren't that amazing, so I had to
Yeah.
do with whatever I could, whatever I had, and yeah, it was like my first time. I picked the weirdest little sound, personality chip
Oh,
too, so
yeah,
he has a
yeah.
really funny sound. But yeah, he was a lot of fun to build, and I struggled a little bit, but we're not going to talk about that. It's okay. I'm a pro woman in STEM,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just such a nice surprise because I didn't expect them to like. They gave us goodie bags and everything, and they gave
Mhm.
us like freaking chocolates. Like, come in this. This whole thing is a chocolate bar. It's thick. It
Ooh.
was so hard to eat. Like I was like, there's still more. There's still more. There's still more. I will say it is really yummy chocolate.
Mm.
But anyways, so with this baby right here, I was so surprised that they gave us that and we got to build this experience, or have the experience of building these droids and with my friends and everything. And at the end of the day, like, yes, I was at a Star Wars premiere, but I'm just so happy that I got to be there with friends and I got
Yeah.
to be with a group of people who felt the same way that I felt like with Star Wars, like about Star Wars. And it wasn't like those big creators who all they care about is getting photos and getting content for this and this and that. It was like, no,
Yeah.
we were just having fun. We were there to have fun. And like we ended up meeting the admin again later on as we were finishing up our droids.
Mhm.
And I can't like I'm pretty sure the majority of us have said it at least once in that conversation, but I know my friend Kathy said it very crystal clear. She's like, you gave us the opportunity to meet up again,
Yeah.
to have fun with our friends, experience Star Wars with friends, but we have so many core memories now. And like we couldn't be more thankful because we got to do it because of the Star Wars admin who messaged us, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. But yeah, like at the end of the day, sure, it's a Star Wars premiere, but it's a Star Wars premiere that I got to be there with my friends, and I think that's what really matters the most. And with Star Wars, like the way that I feel about my friends is kind of like found family.
Mhm.
I whenever I'm really close to my friends, I always somehow in my head I'm like, you're like your brother to me, you're like my uncle, you're like my grandma or
Yeah, yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, right? And like I've expressed it several times that, these group of girls that I had met online and everything, they're like family to me. They're like
Mhm.
siblings. And just even it's even more pretty because it's even more beautiful the fact that like Star Wars is about found family, and I found my family within my friends, and it was just like what's more beautiful and amazing than that, right?
Yeah.
Um but yeah, uh, we ended up having a lot of fun. We went around the whole park. I ended up meeting some pretty high up people at Disney, which is a lot of fun.
Nice.
So I'm hoping at some point I can contact them and just get to know a little bit more information about their job because I'm really interested in marketing. So might as well,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm also really interested in see what they have to say, and a lot of that goes, of course, to Brent, who helped me put my foot through there and have that
Yeah.
conversation. But it was just really nice. I ended up meeting one of the other admins who's an F1 fan,
Oh.
and they had tweeted out one time. It was like an F1 quote that was it was like just an incident, which is basically one of their most popular F1 drivers was interviewed as a little kid, and he's like, "What happened between you and Max?" And he said, "Nothing, just an incident." And they always
Uh-huh.
make fun of him all the time. But he tweeted that out and I started freaking out. And
Yeah.
then she walked up to me and she was like, "What's your favorite like what was it?" She asked me something. It was like, "What's your favorite like team or something like that?" And I was like, "What?
Mhm.
What are you talking about?" And she's like, or like who your favorite driver is. I think that's what it
Yeah.
was that she asked me. I was like, what are you talking about? It's driver. I was like, Sebulba? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what's going on? Oh, you're the girl. You're the admin who likes F1. I
Yeah.
was like, yay. But yeah, it was tons and tons of fun. I got to take photos with the little skeleton crew, sign outside. The lighting
Yeah.
was really harsh, I'll tell you that. But I got to take a photo with our SM-33, our handsome droid,
Smeed,
our
yes.
Ultron 2.0, like
Yeah, yeah.
full on smash. No, I'm kidding. But it was a lot of fun, and gosh, I wish I could experience something like that again. And I'm hoping, like, fingers crossed, that I can go to another one of those events. I know the next one's Andor, and I don't think
Oh,
I will be around for that because I am going to Japan. I fly
um,
back to the day after Andor.
so I'm pretty sure you will be at that because I'm pretty sure that you're gonna do it at Japan Celebration. They did it for Kenobi at Anaheim,
That was
so
California, though.
yeah, but all the Andor actors have been like a couple have been announced for Japan already. I will put money on it
Uh
that
huh.
the release date being the Tuesday after Japan was on purpose. And in Japan, we're gonna get to watch the first two episodes. Everybody who gets into like the Lucasfilm panel that first day will get
Yeah.
a wristband to come back, and they're gonna do the red carpet there because Diego's there. Uh, Mads Nicholson's there because Galen Erso's probably gonna show up. K2 is there. I could almost bet money that that's gonna happen while we're in Japan.
I really hope so because so far all the premieres they've been doing have been like the day of, like a
Yeah,
few hours before, the day of that it releases. And didn't they used to do premieres like a week or two
a week
before?
before. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
exactly.
that's why I'm
Yeah,
like, if they decide to do it like a week or two before, like I'll be in Japan. I was like, not to say that I will be invited, but I just really hope that I will. And I'm
yeah.
like, if it gets to that point where I do get invited and I'm in Japan, I'm gonna be so sad because it's the only like big event that's gonna have a premiere next year for Star Wars. Next year's a
That's
huge
true.
year for Marvel.
Oh
Marvel's
yeah.
huge, huge
Oh
next year, which I'm
yeah.
so excited for. But
Yes.
the only thing is, I believe it's Vision season 3 and Andor season 2.
That's it, yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm putting money on it right now that we're gonna get to watch Andor there early, and we're gonna get to watch 1 episode of Visions because they did that in London for
Mhm.
Visions season 2. We got to watch one of the episodes like weeks early
Ooh,
before it came out. Yeah, and at
weeks.
yeah, and at Anaheim, we watched the 2 Kenobi episodes
I
before it
remember.
dropped, and I didn't go to the panel at Anaheim, I was pissed, but they got to watch a Tales of the Jedi episode early at Anaheim
Oh,
Celebration
yeah.
because nobody knew what it was, so a lot of people didn't go to that panel, and Filoni was there, and he was like, "You wanna watch an episode?" And they watched it early.
Dude, I didn't even get to get into that.
Yeah,
To be honest, I think I told you about my experience at Celebration. The only thing I cared about was Bad Batch Season 2.
yeah.
That is all. When I got that poster and I saw the first couple of minutes of the first episode of Season
I
2,
was
I
I was
cried.
I was in that room with you. I got that poster too. That he
I cried.
seeing them read Omega and D. Bradley
Yes.
reading, I was just like, it blew my mind. They were reading
I
lines on
know.
stage. That moment, oh my god, so special, so
Yeah.
special. And we're gonna get something like that in Japan. Like I can't wait until because if they announce like Bix is gonna be there and more people from Andor, oh,
Mhm.
it's 100% world premiere red carpet in Japan. I'm calling
I
it right
wish.
now. I'm
They
calling
did
it right
something
now.
similar for Kenobi in the UK, right? In London?
Yeah, they did. They did it.
Yeah.
They did it earlier, and then in the States, it was at Celebration. You
Yeah.
you didn't get into that. Did you get into? Were you there for the Kenobi?
I didn't go to the main stage, but they did have it record or they did have it playing in different panel rooms.
Oh,
And I
okay,
went to one of
okay.
their and they did a pretty good job. They had like little games and I got like these like
The
Kenobi
pre
Pringles.
the Pringles, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
have
goodness.
I have something. I think I have it was cereal they had too,
The
right?
Kellogg's. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kellogg's.
I have the cereal box here somewhere. I
Oh my
forgot
goodness.
about that.
I still have my little Kenobi thing. It's somewhere in my closet, but
Oh,
it's yeah, I thought it was so great and I really hope they do something like that again
mhm.
because like shoot, if I can if any excuse to meet Diego Luna or seeing him in person, I will take it because I
Oh,
didn't get to
yeah.
see him at Celebration. What was I don't even think he was no, he was there
Well, he was there for, like, panels and on stage,
on
but
stage,
in
but
Japan, this is his first time doing photos and autos. This is
yeah.
his 2nd con ever where he's doing photos and autos.
I want to meet him so badly.
Yeah.
He's our Mexican king, okay? This is the kind of representation that we're looking for. We
Yes.
have a Mexican main character in Star Wars in arguably one of the best Star Wars shows. Or not even
Yeah.
arguably. Everyone agrees it's a freaking masterpiece. So I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, oh,
Yeah.
so awesome. You can't tell I'm Mexican, so but yeah, it's just so sick. So I'm really hoping because I've been kind of like down. I was like, I kept telling my friend Brent, and because especially because the whole admin thing where they were telling us, you see, we try to take you to these things, we try to invite you guys, like
Yeah.
we always try to get the same group. I was like, can you keep me in that group? Like,
Yeah,
can
yeah,
you
yeah.
take me with you? But then I found out that it's like right after Celebration Japan, and was like, I don't fly back until the 23rd, and it's on the 22nd.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do it there. Cause like the second that date got announced, I was like, why would they do that right after Japan when people are gonna be traveling and this and that? Like, it's cause
Why
they're
a Tuesday? Why a
yeah,
Tuesday? Why are they doing shows on Tuesdays? Explain this to
yeah.
me, Tony. Come on.
It's we're definitely gonna get it there. And even in London, they also showed us a Mando episode early. We saw the episode where Paz Vizsla died the week before. You know how hard that was to not say anything that Paz Vizsla's dead, and then the next day everyone's trying to buy Paz Vizsla the chase pin and this and that. And like I knew he was dead the whole time in London. And it was like, man, this is crazy. I feel like I have to keep this a secret because he's dead now.
Yeah. Yeah. That I did not know you guys were able to see that, but I also would have probably I would have struggled keeping that to myself because Paz's death I have a lot of mixed feelings about. He was
Yeah,
such a pain in the booty for the longest amount of time and then he kind of pulls through and then he
it's
dies and I'm like,
yeah, yep.
"Dang, I don't know what to say about that." But
Your whole experience though at that premiere sounds so amazing, and like the thing that sounds like it's the best part is not even seeing the show and the actors, it's just that experience with friends that you'll remember
yeah.
for the rest of your life. Like the vibe I was getting right there is the feeling that I had when I went to ICC Con this year in
Mhm.
Nashville, Tennessee, because there was about 16 of us that are all from all over the United States that all were there and like hanging out together. And it's like people that you deal with every day on Instagram, on Twitter,
Yep.
on YouTube, but like we were all there. Everybody's hanging out. It was like a summer camp, a sleepover for the 4
Yeah.
days
Yeah.
with all your friends. And that's exactly how it sounded like your experience was there, just spending the whole
Yeah.
day watching the show, building a droid, doing this, doing that, going to the bathroom, running into the photo
The
op.
highlight of my night was going to the bathroom.
But
No, but that's
that's so
seriously
cool.
how it was. It was
Yeah.
like, yes, it was an absolute dream to go to a premiere, the best experience ever. But it's the fact that I went with friends and that
Yeah.
we all just had a really great experience and we got to see each other. We all just like felt like a family reunited. And we reunited for a show where we all feel like we ended up after like the 3 episodes, we all felt like we saw each other in those characters. It just felt
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
amazing. It's like it's one thing going to a premiere. It's a second thing just having such like a comfort feeling with the people around you and with the characters. It's just it was so awesome. Like I I'm a person who loves building relationships with people. I love
Mhm.
spending quality time with people. So to me this was just like
Oh,
out of this
yeah.
world. It was this was like, of course, Bad Batch premiere. It was awesome. My favorite freaking Star Wars show. But I didn't get to spend a lot of time with like my friends and talk to them for too long because it was kind of
Yeah.
like an in and out thing. But it's the fact that we got to spend time at Disney right after, and that helped out tons. Like and it's funny too because these are the girls that I met at the Star Wars like Bad
Yeah,
Batch premiere,
yeah.
right? So it's like a full circle and it's just awesome. And I was like, it's funny because we started talking about our experience of the Bad Batch premiere.
Uh-huh.
And we were like, we barely even knew each other. And it's like, yeah, like we barely even talked to each other or anything. And now we don't shut up when we talk to each other. Like
Yeah, yeah.
we're just waiting for one of us to finally be quiet. Like it's just crazy. But no experience. Like I of course I would dream to go to an El Capitan like theater showing,
Ooh, yeah,
like when they
yeah,
have
yeah.
like the outside, the red carpet and everything. But
Yeah.
I don't think anything will ever compare to the experience that I had for the Skeleton Crew premiere just
Yeah.
because of like I got to spend time with my friends. And
No.
at the end of the day, like I know a lot of fans when I would make videos and I'm spending time with my dad or I'm spending time with my friend Kira, I made a video with her where I was like saber spinning with her and it was
Yeah.
just a compilation. It wasn't even us saber spinning, it's us talking to each other, failing or whatever,
Mhm.
having fun, messing around. And I can't count how many times I've gotten comments on my videos where people say, "Dang, I wish I had friends that loved Star Wars. I wish I had friends where
Yeah.
I could do this with. I wish I had a dad who would spend time with me." And like my dad doesn't know two shits about Star Wars. He knows a little bit and that's about
Yeah.
it. But like just they the one of the most reoccurring comments is just I wish I had someone to spend like this kind of valuable time with and enjoy
Mhm.
Star Wars with, or someone that like I could spend time with that I know feels the same way about Star Wars that I do.
Yeah.
So to me, whenever I see those comments, I'm like, damn, I really am a lucky person because I
Yeah.
have so many friends that I met online or even in person, and I get to experience this. So it's even better, of course, because like at the end of the day, we're all nerds. We're just freaking nerds. And I'm sure at some point we were all bullied for liking Star Wars. And I'm sure at some
Yep.
point we were all given some kind of crap for it. And we felt like we were alone and we wish we had people to talk about Star Wars with. And it just felt so much nicer that I just got reminded that, like, dang, like, I get to do this. I get to not only go to a premiere where I meet the Star Wars actors, but I get to do it with
Yeah.
friends that care about Star Wars as much as I do. And it's an invaluable experience. Like it's crazy. It's insane. It really is.
No, it is, and, like, so next year, though, you're gonna have an experience that's gonna be somewhat close to what you just did with Japan Celebration. How hyped are you to go back to Celebration since your last one, Anaheim 2022? Are you ready for Japan?
Oh my goodness. I am nowhere near financially ready for Japan,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
will
yeah.
say emotionally and ready like for Star Wars Celebration in general, like not even just the Japan part. I am so ready. Like
Mhm.
to me, I think I told you Star Wars Celebration Anaheim was the first convention I've ever gone to.
Yeah,
My first one ever. And it's of course you start off on a high. Every con after that is like, what
doesn't
is this? You
compare.
know? Like
Yeah,
what is
mm-mm,
going on?
mm-mm.
But oh my goodness. Star Wars Celebration is, if anyone ever has the opportunity to go, they need to take it. It's an experience like no other. There's just a bunch of people who like the exact same thing as you. It's not like a Comic Con where it's just, maybe you got those people who like anime, that's like people who like Marvel and here and there, and you don't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
understand what they like sometimes.
Yep,
It's different. You look to your left, you see someone dressed as Kylo Ren. You look to your right, you see a Jawa. Like, all of us are just Star Wars fans, and it
yeah.
just feels amazing. So I'm so extremely excited to experience that again, um, because nothing has ever felt anything like it. Star Wars Celebration is a must for fans. Like, if you ever
Yeah.
have, it truly is a privilege to even be able to go to it because I know it's not cheap, but it's just it's an amazing experience. But for Star Wars Celebration in Japan,
Oh,
oh my goodness, going to a different country to be able to experience this is going to be so sick. And I know how
yes.
Japan is with like media, and I'm so excited to see that. I'm so excited to see like, what the artists have, because the artists in
Yeah,
Japan are just like, dang, they're like a top tier.
yeah,
They're so awesome. So I'm so excited. This might be like one of the first cons where I actually spend money at, because I'm gonna go in with a suitcase inside of a suitcase because I already
yep,
know how many things I'm gonna bring back.
yep.
But I'm just so excited. I will say I'm really scared of the culture shock because, one, I
Ooh, it's
love
gonna
to
be
talk.
huge.
I am
Yeah.
louder, and we all know
Oh,
you can't talk in public transportation,
you
even
gotta
in
be
public.
quiet on the
You have to be
train and stuff.
quiet. Even in
Yeah.
public, like, you can't really talk. And I know I don't have any tattoos, but I know some,
Yeah.
like, my friends, they have tattoos, they have to cover it up. And
Yeah, yeah.
because it's just a really different culture compared to like what we're used to out here in the West.
Mhm.
And that's something I'm kind of scared for, but also the food, just because I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily picky, but
Mhm.
I've tried sushi before, didn't really like sushi.
Yeah.
I've tried, I forgot what I had one time, but my friends have been trying to introduce me to more of like Asian foods,
Yeah.
and it hasn't gone really well. So I'm really scared. So I think I'm
Ooh.
basically gonna live in those 7-Elevens that have
7-Elevens.
everything. Straight up, I think it's gonna be
7-Eleven.
that.
Oh, that 7-Eleven food looks banger. I'm kind of like in the same boat where I kind of am a picky eater. I don't care. But I've
You're like,
been
expose me.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, like I do I do what I want. I'm happy. But
Mhm.
I was looking like there's like so much fire like regular food out there. Like the pizza that I've seen out there, yo, the Japanese have like perfected pizza from the stuff that I've seen. So I'm like hyped for that. And then
Mhm.
like Wagyu beef burgers, I'm hyped for that. I'm gonna try sushi. I might have tried sushi before, and I know I wasn't really a fan of it. I'm gonna try it there just because like you're in Japan. I'm gonna have at least one sushi thing just to say I've done it. And if
Yeah.
I don't like it, whatever, just I'll just drink here and go eat at 7-Eleven or Lawson. But I'm
Real.
kind of pumped to try some of the stuff, but I'm very excited for 7-Eleven. Like I'm even gonna make a video that's 7-Eleven taste testing, and I'm gonna buy just a bunch of stuff at 7-Eleven, take it to the hotel room, line it up, and we're gonna taste test everything. I cannot
Dude, I
wait.
wanna be there for that. Can we do,
Yeah,
like, a whole
we could do
mukbang?
we could do it together. Like we could just go to
Dude,
7-Eleven, buy a bunch of stuff, and then we'll just make a video taste testing it 100%. I'm down.
heck yes. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Yeah, the food is something that I'm pretty scared of. Like, I've had sushi in the past. Raw fish in general is kinda,
Yeah, I'm
the
not a fan of
texture of
that.
it is kinda hard. My friend's like, "If I go to Japan, you have to try sushi again." I was like, "Yeah, okay,
Yeah, just
fine."
once, a little nibble, that's it, and then just yeah.
Yeah, but I will say probably the biggest barrier is probably gonna be that, the food,
Mhm.
because you have to eat, right? You don't have to talk,
Yeah.
so but you have to, like,
Yeah, yeah.
eh. Um, that alongside the language, I'm gonna rely heavily on Google Translate, and,
Oh,
like,
a
they
hundred
do
percent,
the
yeah.
photo thing, right?
Yeah, yep,
So, you can take a photo and it'll
yeah.
read it to you in English, because I'm only gonna be there for 2 weeks, and I know for a fact either way tourists get treated differently, like everywhere
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
right? So no matter how much I try to learn the language, I know I'm going to struggle, and I feel like just me struggling is going to be um more just it might be disrespectful, and I
Mhm.
don't want to do that. I just want them
Yeah.
to realize this is just an American. It's fine. We get it. They
Yeah.
don't speak Japanese. It's fine. So, um, the language is going to be hard, but the food is going to be really difficult. Either way, I'm just excited to go to Japan. It's going to be during the beautiful cherry blossom season. I love nature.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
so excited for that, and I still don't have everything quite planned out yet to the extent that you have it, but I know for a fact that we're gonna go to Disney,
Yes.
and that's gonna be so much fun. I want to make it into Fantasy Springs, which is gonna be really difficult, but I want to
Is
go there
that
for
like
Tangled.
the new thing? That's new, right?
Yeah, that you can only get in if you have like reservations at certain or vacation pass English.
Packages?
I don't English. No English. But if you have vacation like packages at certain hotels, and then you can
Oh,
automatically get a ticket to Fantasy Springs, or if you like get in line really early, people are serious
they
about
get
Disney
there
in
like
Japan.
4 or 5 AM to start
Hmm.
lining up. So are you
That
gonna
is crazy.
book one of those hotels just to get that package?
Well, it's worth it because the hotel's pretty nice, and either way, all
Yeah.
hotels around there are super expensive. That at that point, it is worth it to book. And if you split
Yeah.
it with, like, I'm going with 3 other friends. If you split it,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
worth it.
yeah.
So it's not too bad, and so at least we all get like tickets or passes to Fantasy Springs, which
Mhm.
I just really want to go to because that's where the whole Tangled area is, and
Mm.
my favorite Disney princess is Rapunzel,
Oh.
and Disney princess movie, of course, is Tangled. So I really love it. So I really want to go so badly. I'm just scared that it's gonna be really difficult to get into because
Oh.
yeah. And I know there's a lot of experiences that are blocked out to tourists. So we have to kind of do our research and figure out what we
Uh-huh.
can and can't do. Um, it's going to be quite an experience because I'm going with 3 friends, but 2 of them, one, he's extremely tall. He's like 6'7" or
Uh-huh.
like 6'4" or something like that,
Damn.
but he's really tall. So he's already gonna like I'm already gonna be standing above the majority of people in Japan, but
Yeah.
he's gonna be like a freaking like if you give him a flashlight, he can just say
Godzilla.
green, red, like you know what I mean? Like he's a traffic stop. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty much what it is. And he's gonna pop out. And then my other friend, his wife, she has pink and blue hair. So, already gonna pop out because of that, and then she has
Yeah.
tattoos everywhere, so she has to, like, cover them somehow. So
Yeah.
it's just like, even if I'm not getting the attention, I know we're all gonna get the attention because of them
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
specifically. So that's gonna be kinda difficult. It's not like we're gonna be kinda slick and maybe we can get into some areas that we wouldn't normally, or there's a lot of places that, like, I'm sure my friend Jacob, the tall one, would not be
Uh-huh.
able to get into just because the door frames are smaller. So poor dude, at the end of the trip, he's gonna fly back and he's like, "Dang, my back hurts." Maybe because the whole time you're walking like this, trying to get into every building, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But
Damn.
it's gonna be a huge culture shock.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I I've only ever been to another. The only other country I've ever been to is Mexico.
Mhm.
And I'm Mexican. I speak Spanish, so it's never been an issue with me. Just give me a day or two, my Spanish finally locks in, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I'm speaking Spanish the whole time, no problem. But or I've been to other places in the U.S. and obviously we speak English here. And even though I'm not really great at it, apparently, but it's not too bad the culture. But I'm saying it's so different in Japan,
Yeah.
and that's what's scaring me the most because I don't even know what to expect. What do you? How do you feel about it?
So at first I was kind of nervous, but now it's like I don't care. I'm on vacation. I'll figure it out. Like there's that one app where if you take a picture of everything, it translates it. I
Yep.
think the one thing that made me feel more comfortable, I've been watching a lot of videos, and a majority of places out there, you don't even have to talk to people. Like a lot of the food places, it's touchscreen. Even like the McDonald's, it's touchscreen. A lot of the
Mhm.
restaurants, there's an iPad there, you touch screen. So a lot of the conversations that you might worry about is going to be on a computer screen, so you don't got to worry as much. So I was like, okay, cool. And for the rest, I'm just going to rely on Google Translate. I might try to, well, I will learn the basics like hi, bye,
Mhm.
thank you,
Yeah.
like that stuff.
Yeah,
But after just watching so many vlogs of people running around Japan and just seeing how everything is an iPad, the vending machines, like everything is just touch, 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 order. They don't talk to each other at all. Even in their regular day-to-day life, it's just touch, touch, keep it moving. So
that's
that
crazy.
that should make it a lot better. And seeing that there's 7-Elevens and Lawson's everywhere, like I'll be able to get like regular food that I can munch on. So I'll be good food wise. I There is like a YouTube video I'm gonna watch. It's like a 4-hour long video that teaches you like the basics.
Mhm.
I didn't want to watch it like now because I'm gonna forget it. Like
Me
maybe
too.
the week before, or maybe even on that
On the flight.
the long ass flight, I'll watch
Yeah.
that video twice to make the flight
Mhm.
pass. And then I think my brother was doing like Duolingo stuff to try to
Uh-huh.
learn because he loves anime and One Piece and all that crap anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be like, hey, order this, go do this, go do that. I'll just have my brother be my translator
Poor
for
dude.
me. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I would say, to be honest, I'm not trying to learn the language. I know it's not gonna stick, it's gonna be
oh
very
yeah,
difficult.
yeah,
I'm more interested in learning the culture and, like, what you can't do, what you can do. There's a lot of, like, you can't put your utensils a certain way, like, you can't set them like, there's a lot of small little mannerisms that are extremely important that don't seem
yeah.
like this is something you regularly do in the US, but a lot of foreigners, when they come over here, they're like, "The heck are these Americans doing?" You
Like
know?
eating and
So
walking, drinking and walking. You're not supposed to do
exactly.
that. Like what?
You can't there's no trash cans outside, so you get to figure that out. So,
Yeah,
I want to make, like, a Quizlet where it's not teaching me Japanese, but it's teaching me Japanese culture and
yeah.
mannerisms. So, like, I can test my friends out, like, "So, what are you not allowed to do out in public? List out of all these 3 things, which ones are you not allowed to do?" And
Yeah.
it's A, talk loudly, 2, walk too fast, or A2, what the heck? C, I can't think, dude. I can't think. Or 2, eat while walking, like those kind of things. I think that's
Yeah,
very important because at the end of the day, people are going to understand that I don't speak Japanese. Um, but at least you can try to go out and out of your way to try to learn the culture a little bit and try to respect it because
yeah,
that's what I care about the most. They're not going to expect me to like know how to say anything, to be honest, in
yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
other than hello and goodbye, probably, or please. But yeah, I know one of the huge things in Japan is you can't take a compliment. Like, if, for example, if I call you pretty,
Really?
Tony, you can't say, "Oh, thank you,"
What?
because it sounds because apparently it'll give off the vibes that you have a little bit of a big ego,
Uh-huh.
and instead you should be like, "No, no, no, you're pretty. You're
Yeah.
pretty." So I'm like,
Damn.
really? Like, I'm like, I'm so insecure. I'll take any compliment. Like, no, but it's just wild because, like, the number one thing that I do when people compliment is like, oh, thank you. I
Yeah, yeah,
say thank you for everything. Any, like, literally, anytime that a friend helps me out or even small things, they open the door, whatever, I always say
yeah,
thank you. It is such a normal thing to do in the US. So it's
yeah.
just really interesting to hear that when someone gives you a compliment in Japan, don't do that. There's also a lot of cultural things with being a woman visiting Japan because apparently men are
Mm,
quite interesting there sometimes. And you can get roped around in the wrong like vibe and wrong group of people. So you be
yeah,
careful with that too. So it's more so the culture, just so I keep myself safe, I keep my friends safe, and we're keeping people around us safe.
yeah.
So I think
I
that's the most important thing.
I'm super pumped to go to Osaka for Universal Studios because, like, in Florida, we don't have Super Mario World yet. It's coming in 2025. Like, you guys in Cali, you're spoiled getting everything early.
It's kind of
So
mid.
so you guys have it there, but, like, I'm sure the one in Japan is probably dope, but they
Oh yeah.
just opened up Donkey Kong Country Land in Japan. So I'm gonna
What?
get to yeah. So they added that to Mario Land. So there's a Donkey Kong Country ride, a whole Donkey Kong Country area. So I'm hyped for that, but Universal Japan still has the Jaws ride, and Orlando closed the Jaws ride like a decade or 2 ago. Like, it's been a long
Yeah.
time. So I am so pumped because, like, in the 90s, like, we lived in New York, but every summer we would do a family trip to Florida, to Orlando, and we would go to Universal, and we would always ride Jaws, Back to the Future. So that's like a core childhood memory of mine. So getting to ride Jaws again, I'm gonna feel like a little kid. I
Dude.
cannot wait. Oh,
I'm excited for you. I didn't even know they had that. I'm excited to go in general
Yeah.
because I'm just like I still haven't finished the last 2 movies of Harry Potter, but, like, I like it enough where I'm like, "Ooh,
Ooh,
I
the
wanna see what they're
rides are
gonna."
so good.
Mhm. I
Yes.
consider myself a pretty mediocre fan for Harry Potter, but I'm still quite excited for that. Like, just in general, Universal also has a lot of interesting things.
Yeah,
So
oh,
I'm
yeah.
just excited to see what their little take on it is because their take on Disney is just wild. So what they
It
do
is.
with their technology is amazing, dude. It's
Crazy.
awesome. And like you
Crazy.
mentioned, like Mario World over there, it like Mario is such a huge thing in Japan.
I know.
Like Nintendo, bro, like Nintendo. Like I'm excited to go to the huge Nintendo store, right? Um, so I'm very excited because the Mario World in California is mm,
Damn.
oh yeah.
One thing I'm nervous about though is they just opened the Nintendo Museum in Osaka and you have to
Yeah.
enter a raffle to buy a ticket to get in. Yeah, it's complicated. So for April, I
Oh.
believe the raffle window is going to be January 1st to January 31st. So now I have to enter a raffle. I have to win this raffle to be able to buy a ticket to get in. So if I don't win, I'm going to be so pissed that I'm going to be there and I can't go into the museum, which is
Dude,
nuts.
I didn't even know about that. When that happens, you let me know because
Yeah.
I want to. Like, it's just, dude, I
Yeah.
grew up on Nintendo.
Me
That
too.
was my entire childhood. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did have a PSP and I did,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah.
little PlayStation, a little Sony, but I grew up with like the first little video game thing or not even a console, like little, I had a DS Lite with Cooking Mama. I got
Mm.
that for my 5th grade little graduation or commencement.
Yeah.
And it was just like it's something I held closely. And then I had like I always mix it up if it's 3DS or 2DS XL, but
There's 2 of
one of
them. There's a
those.
2DS and a 3DS.
I don't know which one I had. It wasn't the one that was the same color. It was like, dang it, hold on a second. Let me
I
figure this
I
out.
think the 3DS is the one that flips open and the 2DS is the one that's just open with 2 screens. I could be wrong though.
What?
There's a bunch of them though. There's a lot of them. And
Hold on.
there's like an XL, there's like
Ooh.
there's a bunch.
I had the 3DS XL in the
Yeah.
blue. Yeah. It
Nice.
was quite awesome if I say so myself. Um
Yeah.
but I just absolutely loved it. I'm just so excited. I grew up with that. My favorite like thing that I was gifted that was Nintendo was my Wii. I still have my Wii. I
Mm.
sold my DS, my 3DS XL, but my Wii is something I will never get rid of. My
Yeah.
friends and I, we love getting a little drink here and there and
Yeah.
playing some Just Dance. It's just a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
fun, you know?
Yeah.
Or playing Mario on it or playing Lego Indiana Jones on there. It's so much fun. Like I'm
It
excited. I
it
I hope that I can get in. I hope you can get in as well because at least I can live vicariously through you. You know, like
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna figure it out because, like, if there's a way that people like buy it to resell it, because you know how people resell everything,
yeah,
I'll pay resale. I don't care. I do not care. I will buy it if even if I have to pay more. I'm getting in that museum, but at the very least, I'm going to all 3 Nintendo stores. I'm going to Nintendo Tokyo, Nintendo Osaka, and Nintendo Kyoto. So I'm gonna get to experience 3 big ass Nintendo stores.
dude, I didn't even know they had more than one.
Yeah, and like, I
Like what
think
the heck,
in every city, so I know there's one in Tokyo, and I wanna get there's shirts too, so I'm gonna get the shirt that says Nintendo Tokyo, Nintendo Osaka, everything. I'm getting everything.
dude? This is why I have you to tell me and inform me on all of these things because otherwise I would have not known.
And
I don't
then
know.
if you like Pokemon, there's Pokemon centers all over. So there's like 7 in Tokyo. I'm going to all of them because they all have different exclusive Pikachu plushies. I'm getting every single one. And then in Osaka, there's a Pokemon center. In Kyoto, there's one. So I'm gonna be Ash Ketchum. I'm catching them all in Japan. I do not care. I cannot wait.
I don't really know a lot about Pokemon, but I understood that reference.
Yes.
I
Yes.
understood that reference. Do you understand
Oh.
that reference? Uh, but oh my goodness, I'm trying to get this little lighting over here because it's quite annoying to say the least.
Yes.
I didn't
But
charge it. It's okay.
So I think that's pretty much everything I had though. It's crazy. It's been 2 hours. I did not realize how long it's been. We've been yapping.
Dude, I feel so bad because I'm like, I yap so much. So like,
Oh, it's all good.
dang. I started looking at the timer. I was like, damn, it's almost 2 hours. Dang. I'm over
Yes.
here like, I'm sure Tony needs to eat or something. Like, oh my goodness, he's probably starving. This poor man. Um,
So
but
do
yeah.
you have anything coming up next that the people could look forward to?
Ooh, actually, not so much. Right now I'm kind of in my cool down era at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to experiment with like different types of content and just I really do want to like try to sit down and do YouTube. I know I do that. I say that all the time, but I just
Yeah.
want to sit down and do that. I did enjoy it. I'm finally at home where I have a setup that I actually do like.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, it's just I'm kind of scared of how it's going to go because of that whole TikTok ban. So,
Oh.
if TikTok does get banned in the US, you can guarantee you have to take advantage of all the people that go to Instagram. So, and YouTube and stuff. So maybe
Yeah.
this is a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing, but maybe it's a good thing. So I'm just trying to figure out like exactly what I'm gonna do. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You're just gonna see a lot of videos with my personality. That's just you're gonna see
Yeah.
more Marley to say the least. Um,
Yes.
but I've had such a great year. This has been I'm not even joking when I say this has been the best year of my life. I really struggled in 2023. So it felt so nice seeing all these things just happen in the
Yeah.
last year. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, apparently, I went to Hawaii earlier this year and I completely forgot. The Bad Batch premiere was earlier this year. I thought that was last year. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things that happened in this year. And it was just, I couldn't be more thankful. It's been truly the best year of my life. And it's maybe I didn't grow content wise, but I got to grow like, personality wise. I get to be the
Yep.
person who I wanted to be. I learned more about myself. I met a lot more people. You know, you start off on social media, you're a little bit iffy about like making new
Yep.
friends and you finally meet them and you're finally open to meeting them and you meet a bunch of like really nice people and it's just awesome. Like I'm excited for whatever the heck 2025 has in store. It's going to be a great year. I already know it.
Yep.
And I'm just whatever happens, I will take every opportunity. Whether I want to go to MegaCon, I want to make it work. I don't know how I'm
Yes.
going to make it work, but I want to make it work. I want to go there. So I'm just excited. I just want to do a lot of things and of course we have Japan in April and then in May we got that Star Wars night again, which I will be going as always.
Nice.
It's finally on May 4th, by the way. Um
Perfect.
so it's even more perfect. So I'm excited for that. I have my graduation. I may be going to Switzerland and Italy. Lake Como,
Ooh.
May.
What? In May?
Uh-huh. In May. I might do that. I'm not exactly sure just yet
Oh.
because I've got to figure out some finances, but it's kind of like a half graduation trip for me.
Yeah.
But if that does happen, you can guarantee you'll see photos of me at Lake Como. And I don't care. I will be remaking that Anakin photo where
Yes!
he just has it. Yeah.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, please do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But I'm so excited. I'm hoping it happens. Nothing is for sure just yet because I haven't bought
Yeah.
flight tickets or anything just yet. But it is something that my family and I really are looking forward to. And I just love mountains. So I'm excited for like
Oh,
Switzerland and
yeah.
Lake Como is surrounded by them as well. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited. And that's all in the first 6 months of the year. There's so many other
Damn.
things. Like this year has been such a long year and so many things has happened. Like it's been awesome. So I'm just excited. I'm just so excited for whatever is in store for
Yeah.
2025. Like I am down. If I have the opportunity to go back to Florida again, I will do it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll go. I don't care if it's in August again. As long as my friend doesn't care about me complaining every day about the humidity, it's fine. Like, like it's I'm just kind of like at a moment in my life where I'm just so extremely grateful for everything that I've gotten this year.
Mhm.
And all of it has been just because I went into it with an open mind and I've been pretty flexible. And now I don't have to stress about school, which is my
Yeah.
biggest stressor. So like now
Yeah.
I could be an adult with adult money and adult decisions and adult days off and everything and I just get to enjoy life and I'm so excited for that. So content wise, I don't know. You guys just gotta see whatever Marley decides to wake up in the morning and to
Yes.
do. That's what I'll be doing. I know for sure I will be making a video on this baby. This is a
Mm.
real stainless steel baby. Um, but yeah, I'm just quite excited. And Tony, I'll be back. I'll give you some more stories. Don't worry. You know, I love
Oh,
to talk.
for
I'll give you another
sure.
2 hours worth of yapping. Don't worry. If not on the channel, I will do it in person in Japan.
Oh, for
You and I,
sure.
we're gonna sit down, gonna have a little coffee or something. I don't drink coffee, so maybe hot chocolate or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
or an energy drink, and we'll just have a nice little long conversation of just everything nerdy wise, you
I
know.
can't wait. Oh,
So,
I cannot wait. But that's awesome. So for you guys watching, go subscribe and follow. I'm gonna put the link to all her pages down in the description. But Marley, thank you so much for coming back on. This was a blast.
oh my god, I had so much fun. Thank you so much for allowing me to just yap. This is just like I love it. You were just
Yes.
letting me talk, and I'm extremely thankful. I know this was a very long yapping session, but I had a lot of fun just hearing your experiences and being able to talk about mine as well. And
Yeah.
it's nice, of course. Just talking to friends about Star Wars is a lot of fun. So
Yes. Awesome. So that's gonna be it for this episode of Sith Talk, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
bye.